Welcome to our coverage of the Queensland Cup. Today, the grand final with Redcliffe at home to Toowoomba. And so it's down to just two teams, and two outstanding teams at that. They played out the grand final last year. Toowoomba comfortably the minor premiers, but Redcliffe have been in exciting form in the last couple of weeks. Let's have a look at the results from the last 2 weeks, and we can see why these two teams finished up in the grand final. Firstly, Toowoomba, a bit of an upset by, Toowoomba beating Burleigh in that preliminary final. That was last week, of course, by 34 points to 20. And prior to that, the week before, Redcliffe caused an upset by beating Toowoomba up at Toowoomba by 20 points to 10. And so it's down to these two teams once more after that major semi-win for Redcliffe. Can they do it again? They're on the home ground, David Wright. Are they the favourites?
Jerry, I think they are the favourites. They've got a very proud record, this Redcliffe club. Would you believe they played in 5 of the 6 Queensland Cup grand finals? They're the only side to have won it twice. They are the reigning premiers. They are a very, very powerful side, and there's no coincidence. You don't make a grand final by any coincidence. They've got an enormous amount of experience in their side. 9 players out of last year's squad make the grand final again. Let's have a look at that side. We'll see how strong it is. Adam Mogg, who was the Courier Mail Player of the Year, he's one of their top guns. Young Phil Graham in the centres. He'll play a big part today after scoring 2 tries a couple of weeks ago. He'll go to Melbourne next year. Michael Roberts has just been named as the Sun State Player of the Year, so they've got some great talent. That is probably the best forward pack in the competition. They lack nothing, this Redcliffe side. It's a very all-round strong outfit. They'll be very hard to beat. This should be a great game of football this afternoon. The finish, I think it's going to be a huge finish. Don't miss it, no matter what. This is Queensland Cup at its best, Jerry.
Sure is, Dave, and we're all looking forward to it. And Warren Boland, Toowoomba, they're a young team, but can they get up on grand final day?
Well, I just heard David going through the strength of Redcliffe, but so too are Toowoomba. Very strong side. Look, I think they will have benefited by having to play and beat Burleigh last week. 2 weeks ago, they went down to Redcliffe, but Redcliffe got a couple of soft tries in the first half, and Toowoomba came back at them in the second half, and they had a few injury problems that day as well. They've been boosted by the return from the Broncos of Brent Tate, Casey Maguire and Michael Ryan, so there's a lot to recommend to Toowoomba Clydesdales today. Taking a look at the lineup, you've got Ken McGuinness at fullback, very capable player there, returning the kicks in the best of form. Damien Quinn at wing, with his goal kicking, could be a real strength. He scored a lot of tries, but those kicks are going to be very important. Steve Irwin in the centres, long kicking game. Brent Tate, very dangerous runner. Tony Duggan on the wing. If he comes in and amongst the halves, as he undoubtedly will during the game, very dangerous. Casey Maguire with that experience of playing NRL. Nathan Murphy, very skillful at half. Then the forwards, Neil Wyatt and Paul Carriage, Darren Ingram playing very well in the finals. Damon Keating back from a concussion 2 weeks ago, very strong and will lead the way. Michael Ryan in great form for the Broncos last week, very skillful out of dummy half, and Kirk Reynoldsson very strong as well. The bench, Takiri, Friend, Chislowski and Robertson. Look, Toowoomba have a great side, but so too to Redcliffe. I like Toowoomba on paper, but we're at Dolphin Oval, and that's certainly got to be in the Dolphins' favour. Nothing in this grand final.
Stage set now for a wonderful grand final, and Craig O'Dwyer leads out the home team, the Redcliffe Dolphins, and they have fantastic support here. There are lots of red in the crowd, and there's a big crowd, probably around about 6,000 or 7,000 people here for this grand final. What a moment for these players. The Redcliffe boys have got such a proud tradition in this Queensland Cup, and there Craig O'Dwyer, the captain of the side. Such an outstanding player and such an outstanding captain. He leads by example. And there you can see Michael Roberts, the number 7, just being patted on the back by one of his fellow players, Luke Scott, giving him a word of encouragement. And there, Adam Mogg standing alongside Craig O'Dwyer, the Brisbane Rugby League Player of the Year. What a year they've had. And interestingly, they had a bit of a hiccup just in the 4 or 5 weeks in the lead-up. There's Tony Gould sitting on the bench. That's an interesting move by Redcliffe.
Number 16 out there, and Greg Cameron. So perhaps a late change here by Redcliffe just to keep Gould, the very experienced Tony Gould, out of the action early. Gould is one of only 2 players surviving the inaugural grand finals back in 1996.
And Damon Keating leading out the Toowoomba team, and they've got their supporters here too. Large group of people coming down from Toowoomba in the buses and ready to watch this young Toowoomba team, but with the experience of a Damon Keating will be important, and Kenny McGuinness's experience at fullback as well. This year, there's just that little bit more experience which might sway the balance a little bit towards Toowoomba this year as well. We know they've got heaps of brilliance. We know that they've got youth on their side, and they've got just that little bit of extra experience too. So look at that scene. Marvellous scene here, a magnificent Dolphin Oval. And it's like stepping out of the middle of winter into the middle of summer, because last week up at Toowoomba for the preliminary final, in which Toowoomba beat Burleigh, it was cold, it was wet and miserable. Here it's hot and sunny and a glorious day for watching footy. It'll just be a little bit hot for the players. Now we're about to have a minute's silence here, and I'm sure everybody understands exactly why we're having this minute's silence. It's been a dramatic week and the world has been affected. And just like the rest of the world, we here in Queensland can stop and think of those thousands of victims of an horrific incident in the United States.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Just a moment to reflect on how lucky we are, how fortunate we are to be able to be at a grand final, to see two magnificent footy teams as we have here, and a magnificent moment for Rob Alexander as well. He gets to officiate at the grand final of the 2001 Queensland Cup. Off we go, Redcliffe in the red and white kicking off. Toowoomba in the blue colours, first use of the ball as it's taken forward by Kirk Reynoldson and tackled just after crossing his own 20-metre line. Brent Tate getting in there at dummy half as they swing the ball early. Kenny McGuinness getting the pass away and a lost opportunity there for Toowoomba. So now Redcliffe, as Craig O'Dwyer gets in to be a dummy half, and they take it forward. Troy Lindsay about 15 metres out from the line. Can the Dolphins score an early try? Here goes Luke Scott across the 10-metre line. Well and truly into the red zone now. O'Dwyer is going to keep it going on the right. Michael Roberts, Adam Mogg involved early. Nice dummy by Mogg. Can he go all the way? So close. Held up just short of it. Oh, lovely quick play the ball. It could be a try here. Can he get it down? Yes. Try to Jason Weber.
Go to the video. He's going to check. He's going to check with Eddie Ward first. He wasn't sure whether he got it down. On our end-on shot, it did appear that he did have it on the ground. He didn't get it down initially. Held there momentarily. He tries to spin around. A hand underneath there. Well, that's going to be a close call. I think Eddie Ward has no other option other than to award the try. And there it is. And Redcliffe get an absolute dream start after Toowoomba decided to throw the ball early across the face of their post to try and get away from the big Redcliffe six. The passing was quite secure, but the handling at the back end wasn't. Redcliffe in possession in the first couple of minutes within 10 metres of the try line, and they are dynamite. There's Moggy, almost went through himself as Jerry called it. Good quick play the ball. The Toowoomba defence looked thin on that far side, and Jason Weber, I think it is, who runs out of there, throws the dummy. Here's Mogg. He gets caught short. Adam Moggy almost looked for a support player, decided the quick play the ball was the order of the day, and Weber there spinning, twisting, getting away from Irwin. Over the top there too late was Neil Wyatt. And what a great start this is for the Dolphins. And the flip side, a horror start for the Clydesdales. As I say, they endeavoured to keep the ball alive inside their own territory. Roberts across a tricky wind has just missed it. But Redcliffe off to a flying start, 4-0.
You can't afford to give away early points with simple mistakes, and Toowoomba have done that. Great run by Adam Mogg, got them very close. Nathan Murphy made a great tackle to pull him down, and then Murphy coming out from the marker position, unable to get to Weber as he dashed away from dummy half.
What's
Good
that
work
line,
by
please?
Redcliffe to capitalise.
What's the line?
So Redcliffe in possession, 25 metres out from their own line. And down on the sideline, Warren Boland, we didn't get a chance to introduce you because that mistake was very costly for Toowoomba.
It certainly was, and now another mistake is costly as they give away a penalty. But look,
There we are.
beautiful conditions here, ground superb. The wind is blowing towards this side of the field in the direction of that kick we've just seen from Redcliffe. And in the first half, Toowoomba have elected to run into that slight breeze.
So carted forward now by the man who's got the late start, Greg Cameron Ford, the Redcliffe Dolphins, and he's taken it into Toowoomba's territory. Michael Roberts running at an opposite angle. Good run here by Latham, taking it about 12 metres now into Toowoomba's territory. Nice quick play the ball again, and here goes Troy Lindsay. So the big, powerful men from Redcliffe are having an impact early in the game.
Punch up.
Yes, there is a little bit of feeling. Brent Tate and George Wilson involved. They've got it closer towards the centre of the field. Craig Dwyer, you can see the urgency that's there. Michael Roberts now out wide, an opportunity for Rod West. Nicely away to Jason Webber. Back inside, then goes the winger Ricky Hewinson, and tackled just about 12 metres outside the line. Nice kick here by Michael Roberts. Chance for Wilson. He'll climb high, tapped in the air. Now they've got to get out in the field to play if they can. It'll be a goal line dropout.
Well, all the pressure going with the Dolphins. They've had an absolute dream start now. Good build-up after the kick downfield.
Right,
Roberts, the crossfield kick. Wilson had his hand up before that ball had been played. The ball was still alive at that stage. And Casey Maguire taken over the dead ball line. Awkward kick here for Wilson to retrieve. He does it well. Not a good kick because it didn't get territory. Wilson gets it to the 20-metre line. Dwyer drops in a dummy half. Slowish play the ball. Luke Scott to take a settler. What a great platform this is for the Redcliffe boys. Now Laeth tries to cut back on the inside.
That's it. 3.
This time up to West, looks back on the inside, fires it out there to Jason Webber. Webber keeps it up to Ricky Hewinson, tries to bump away from a couple, as he's very capable of doing. A couple of metres out from the try line. All the pressure on the Clydesdales at the moment. Pass from Roberts. There's Roberts now. Slips back on the inside. The ball's lost and picked up by Toowoomba. Well, great relief, but the big question now is, how are Toowoomba going to get it out of their own territory? Are they going to risk the long passing game again? Or they're going to play a bit of safety first and just go forward? 2 dummy half runs. And that one was basically ineffective. If you're going to run out of there, you've got to dash.
Defence up really quickly on Casey Maguire there. He had nowhere to go.
Brent Tate down a blind side. This is a good centre 6 by Redcliffe. They're really putting pressure on Toowoomba. They've gone hardly anywhere. Kirk Reynoldsson. Strong defence again. 5th and last. They've only got it to the 32. Kick has to be on. Irwin's got a huge kick. We want to hurry up and get it away. He's fluffed it. Oh dear, here's a left foot kicker. He had a chance to get the boot on, decided to step back on the inside, and the young kids just are not settled into this game at all yet. And Redcliffe with another chance. Back on the attack, only 32 metres out.
So Ricky Hewinson caught about 25 metres out. Pressure's well and truly on Toowoomba, Warren.
Absolutely, that was a bad mistake by Irwin not to get the boot away. The chasers were coming at him, but he had time to put the long kick downfield, although it is into the wind.
So here they go again. Michael Roberts with the offload. Luke Scott taken on the bounce, losing it behind them, and tackled only about 12 metres out from the line. Adam Mogg in a dummy half. He's obviously enthusiastic, wants to be very much a part of this attacking play from Redcliffe. Tackled about 12 short. Again, he gets to his feet very quickly. Roberts, this is the 5th tackle, so Roberts kicking to the in goal is another beauty. Can I get it? McGuinness caught in the in goal. McGuinness, another goal line dropout. Fantastic start by Redcliffe.
Great work, Redcliffe. They've had the near perfect start. Admittedly, a bit has been presented to them. Beautiful little kick there by Roberts, the best player in the Queensland Cup as adjudicated today. And Roberts, beautiful little grubber kick into that in-goal area. The pressure still right on the Clydesdales. They have their backs to the wall.
Forcing them to do a lot of tackling to Toowoomba.
And a lot of gas goes out of the tank, and it's so early in the match. This will be handy for them. They'll pick up another 10 metres by getting to Mogg a little bit earlier. Cameron, first receiver. So Toowoomba finally with a little bit of a break. They made a tackle on the 40, whereas otherwise they could have been deep inside their 30. Russell Laeth for settler. But again, great opportunity for Redcliffe to keep the pressure on. Danny Burke with a good run down that far side. Almost to the 20. Here's Troy Lindsay, the steamrollers out from Redcliffe. Toowoomba hanging on desperately as Lindsay surges forward. Great platform now to attack from here. Rod West, first receiver, puts it back to Roberts. Couple of plays in motion, up there to Luke Scott, inside the 10. 5th tackle, will they go the in goal again? Out of dummy half goes Mogg, he puts it in the in goal. Is it going to sit for them? Redcliffe the first there. It's another try for the Dolphins. I think Adam Mogg might be the first one there. Wow.
That's extraordinary. So they've picked up 2 tries in pretty quick time. They have started like a train, the Redcliffe Dolphins. Lovely kick through there by Adam Mogg. He's been so involved in the game. Here, the little kick through. He's unable to follow through. One of the other Redcliffe players is able to get there, and it is Craig Dwyer. The captain is able to dive on the ball and pick up the try. So the Dolphins now lead by 8 points to 0.
What a start here from Redcliffe. However, Don't turn off this game yet. Toowoomba have not played any football yet. They haven't had a chance to play any footy. There's a long, long way to go. I'm sure Toowoomba, whilst shell-shocked at the moment, as many people are here, the Redcliffe crowd, far from shell-shocked, they are absolutely elated and very vocal with this fantastic start by the Dolphins. They should go to 10-0 after only about 9 minutes. Roberts from right in front. Thanks very much. 10-0 in favour of the reigning premiers.
Well, you really want to have Toowoomba behind you in these games, because, and that's exactly where Redcliffe have them. If they get to the front, Toowoomba can be very confident front runners. But here's Adam Mogg putting the kick in, perfectly judged, stands up. 2 of them were there. No one from Toowoomba even close. Weber was there. Craig O'Dwyer goes underneath him for the try. Great play, but it all goes back to that missed kick by Steve Irwin. And we're just seeing too many mistakes from Toowoomba.
Well, that'll be good to see on half-time replay again, Jerry, when we show the highlights, just how close that was for O'Dwyer getting that ball down.
Yeah, that's that end on. Made you wonder whether or not he did actually ground the ball. But the try's been awarded, so it's on the scoreboard. It's 10 points to 0 in favour of Redcliffe, and they have had a magic start to the game, and they'll be keen to keep it going as Danny Burke is caught just outside his own 20. The Dolphins, that's the way you'd like to start any grand final. And, of course, the Toowoomba Clydesdales. Now, that's what they've got to do. They've got to come back with some solid defence. And Neil Wyatt coming up with an important tackle on Danny Burke there. So they've only made it to the 30, and there goes the kick now from Roberts. Downfield, taken comfortably by Damien Quinn. Turning around back to Kenny McGuinness. And, they're going to try and run the ball again, and it's backfired once more. Ball knocked down, grabbed by Michael Roberts, and they're just outside the 30 again, Redcliffe. Adam Mogg once more. He's loving this. Weber looking and searching for a gap on the far side, but can't get through. Ricky Hewinson to dummy half as the Dolphins maintain this attack. And the Clydesdales, well, you've got to hand it to them. They're prepared to play attacking football, but it has backfired on them a couple of times already.
That was never on, that pass there from McGuinness. He is one of the more experienced players too. You don't need to panic at this stage in a grand final.
Here goes Adam Mogg. His involvement in the game is just absolutely amazing. Russell Wayhef, 10 metres out on the 5th tackle now. On the right-hand side, O'Dwyer with a grubber kick. Can they keep him in the in-goal again? Might have been a knock on. It is in the in-goal. Knock on by Toowoomba. It's another goal line dropout. How many is that? 3 in pretty quick time.
Well, it's 3 too many as far as the Clydesdales are concerned, but some great kicking here. This time by O'Dwyer. Duggan couldn't pick it up on the fly. He was trying to pick it up quickly and get out of there. Interesting, Brent Tate runs over to the middle of the field to give some message to his teammates. They've just got to hang on here now as Redcliffe just keep this onslaught going. Greg Cameron, who started the match. Gould, of course, still in reserve. Tony Gould, who'll love to call the shots after this amount of defence has been done by the Toowoomba boys.
Look at those tackles, 63 tackles for Toowoomba. They'll be exhausted.
They'll be out on their feet, undoubtedly, but they've got to hang on here. Luke Scott tries to stand in the tackle. Over the top, you've just got to keep pushing hard now to hold out. Great chance now for Redcliffe again. Roberts throws the dummy, goes himself, back to Mogg. Mogg with a little bit of room to move. That's the 4th tackle. Alexander up over the tackle up there to Lynch. Here we are to stop. Troy Lynch has scored in last year's grand final. Just short. 5th and last. O'Dwyer to dummy half. Up to Roberts. In goal again. Will it go down this time? McGuinness is hoping it does. And finally, a reprieve for the Clydesdales. But can they use it for 6 and get a decent kick away? Here comes McGuinness to try and make up for his last error. He's going to pass it though anyway. Well, you've got to give him a lot for courage. Up there it was to Irwin. Finally they get it away from their own territory, but they must get through this set of 6. Out of dummy half, Michael Ryan. Good tackle blow. Penalty will go against the Dolphins here. And finally,
never came back.
We're about to see a different game.
Yeah,
well, the game will actually be played in the other half for a change.
And the guys in the blue shirts might actually have the ball for a while.
I don't think I've ever seen an onslaught at the beginning of a grand final like this, but it's been self-destruction from Toowoomba.
There's Damon Keating, just 20 metres out now. The Toowoomba Clydesdales see what they can do. Nathan Murphy can't offload. Well covered there. Troy Lindsay involved in the tackle. Now Casey Maguire slipping the pass back here to Paul Carriage. Still outside the 20. Tate in at dummy half. Reynoldson takes it on. Oh, what a tackle! Russell Wayhef as we know, is an unbelievably solid tackler. Casey Maguire turns it back inside to McGuinness. McGuinness for the line, another, well, unwarranted pass.
Come over here,
by Redcliffe.
And offside. Touch that went through the fingers, and therefore Redcliffe, defender offside.
And you come over as well.
Rob Alexander wants 2 Redcliffe players over.
You took the player without the ball. No, you took the player without the ball. Consider yourself lucky not to be going to the bin. You come over, please. Mate, you do your flicking the ball away stuff again and you will go to the bin. We're not playing those sort of games.
Couple of warnings. This was McGuinness who went through, fired the ball over the top. It was only touched. Wasn't played it. That was an interesting. Here's toowoomba. They're into the corner. What a hit back by the Clydesdales. Michael Ryan. Well, we've just seen Craig O'Dwyer score the hooker for Redcliffe, and all of a sudden Michael Ryan, with some recent Broncos experience, dashes down a blind side and scores a try like a will-o'-the-wisp.
Great work by the little hooker, and it would have been a big boost to Toowoomba to get him back as well, because he's been up with the Broncos for the last couple of weeks. And interestingly, Damien Curry, who played so well in the preliminary final last week, has been called up at Ryan's expense. But of course, it's not a bad expense when you get to play in a grand final. And even though it's been a disastrous start for Toowoomba, now they're back in the game. They've got points on the board, and they've put those points on pretty soon after getting into Redcliffe's territory for the first time. So from being a totally dominant first 15 minutes or so from Redcliffe, the score is a simple 10-4 at this stage. And of course the conversion here could reduce it at just a 4-point margin. That was a most important try.
Yeah, it was essential, Jerry. They had to hit back. They attacked better than any other side in the competition. It was their first chance to do so. Give them a lot of hope. This will too if they can knock 2 points over.
Damien Quinn moving in to the left of the uprights, no goal. Score remains 10-4 in favour of the Dolphins.
He's got a great instinct for a break around the ruck, Michael Ryan, and very smart play by him. 2 penalties in a row went Toowoomba's way, and then off that tap is Keating, just slips it up, and Michael Ryan's in behind him, backing up all the time, and Redcliffe caught napping. Danny Burke couldn't get across. I think Redcliffe really didn't get back and position themselves quick enough after the referee was handing out cautions for the player being taken out off the ball and then for throwing the ball away, and maybe they were distracted.
And there's Damon Keating, captain of Toowoomba, as they work their way out, this time a little bit more conventional use of the ball in running it out from their own line, and good stealing of territory too. That's Ryan again, and a nice offload, so they keep it alive up to the halfway. And here they get another penalty, so a few penalties are helping the cause too. Nathan Murphy, the man who was tackled.
Listen, you two, you move away, you go that way, and you stay back here. And number 8, I want to see you.
Adam Mogg involved.
I know we've got the silly stuff happening here. We had a penalty down there for silly stuff. I'm going to put that on report because I thought your forearm may have come down on him. Okay, so I'm going to put it on report, and that's what the penalty's for. Be very careful.
Let's have a look at it. There's the number 8 in Troy Lindsay coming in there over the top. We'll leave that to the adjudicators to decide, but certainly the referee thought that may have been the case.
David, this is very silly from Redcliffe, totally in control of the game, and they've given away 3 penalties in a row to put themselves back in their own half. Very silly football.
Murphy up this time to McGuinness, little set piece here. Maguire just managed to hang on to it, decides he must go himself, pops it back to McGuinness. McGuinness pops it back to Tate. Tate goes straight in, almost threads the eye of a needle. They've got a good opportunity on the left-hand side if they can get it out there. They'll come down the blind, up to McGuinness. McGuinness goes back to the left, up to Tate. They've lost a bit of time. Tate with a little bit of dancing around at the back of the rack. They really needed to move it wide. They're very flat attack line here, Toowoomba. Pass up there to Kirk Reynolson. Reynolson gets it to midfield. That's a good position to attack from. Only 11 metres out. Casey Maguire's got the ball in his hands. Looks back on the inside but goes himself. 5th and last. What options have we got here? Murphy decides he'll try the in goal. Beautifully covered by Roberts, but even better work by the Toowoomba defender in McGuinness to swamp Roberts. Roberts got it a metre from the try line and finished a metre behind it.
Watch this, Roberts picking up the ball, and there Kenny McGuinness steamroll and just forcing him 2 metres backwards into the in-goal area. And so for the first time, Toowoomba have forced a goal line dropout on Redcliffe after Redcliffe have done it to them at least 3 times.
Now Nathan Murphy is the man who put the kick through, and he's been hit here, and I wonder whether it was after he got the kick away. He put that very good kick through, which was chased by McGuinness, and now is down injured.
He's pointing to his jaw, and the physio having a very close look at it. Lindsay Tregear, but he's okay.
Yeah. I was watching his kick.
The referee saying he was watching the kick and therefore didn't spot anything in back play, but that's the job of the touch judges. As Mogg gets a good kick from the in goal, and they allow it to bounce dangerously. Damien Quinn. All of a sudden, Toowoomba starting to get a little bit of run of play. And the penalties have certainly helped that. Good rushing defence there, initially from Wilson, and then Troy Lindsay crunched Reynolds. He's in trouble. Reynolds this time up to Neil White, tries to break a couple of tackles, but Luke Scott throws him to the ground. Michael Ryan at dummy half to Murphy. Long pass out there to Maguire. Maguire, little chip, could go anywhere. This and once it lands, bounces high. Redcliffe have got it, and he's lost the ball. Play on. Lost forward by Redcliffe in the field of play. It'll be scrubbed loose and feed to the Clydesdales. That was always going to be a tricky kick.
Ricky Hewinson was coming back and got the bounce. He was in behind and at first did very well, but let's see if we can see how this ball's been jolted out. It looks as if he just didn't have a good enough grip on it.
I think he was trying desperately to get out into the field of play, and the effort to get out there just sort of lost control of the ball. So here's a great chance for Toowoomba now.
Stay in, Redcliffe
on the 10-metre line.
in.
Murphy, McGuinness showing the ball, and Brent Tate, the defence has moved up quickly. Has it moved up too quickly? Tate's a clever player, back to McGuinness, back to Irwin, and tackled 10 metres out from the line. Damien Quinn playing the ball. Good run here by Ryan again. He's deceptive and has got to within 5 metres. McGuinness gets in to be a dummy half. Well picked up there by Nathan Murphy.
Come over here. Oh no, it's going to be a illegal play here.
And now Lindsay has been spoken to already, hasn't he? Was it Lindsay?
No, Dwyer this time.
Mate, this is very, very, very serious. Very serious.
I'll tell you what, if it's that serious.
Very serious. You're treading right on the fine line. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and put it on report, but, you know, I have got other options, all right? And I know what I've got to do if one connects
he's gone
well.
Very, very close to marching orders there. How many very seriouses do you need? There he is. He just got a bit of a slap. I don't think there's an enormous amount of intent. He certainly got him high, so I agree with that decision. But the warning is out.
Here goes Damon Keating, the captain, is able to get the pass away, but can they keep it going? Darren Ingram has stopped just 2 or 3 metres short. Michael Ryan, Murphy, Reynoldson can't get through. Good defence, that's the second tackle. Got to keep it going on the left now. Ryan getting it away. Casey Maguire did well to get the pass away. Can they keep it low? Don't want to send that pass, it'll go forward. So played there by Steve Irwin, and they're trying desperately to get through as Neil Wyatt. Can't quite get there, but he's so close to the line. Swung now away to Murphy, on to Maguire. Lovely pass to Reynoldson. McGuinness will score. Can't get it down. Held up. Turtled. No way he can get that ball down. Good defence from Redcliffe.
Great passage of play, some great attack, and then ultimately Redcliffe. McGuinness a couple of metres out here. Would have thought he was a certainty. Beautiful little inside-out play there. Up to Reynoldson. Beautifully into the gap goes McGuinness. This point in time he thought he was in, but the desperate defence just got him by the jersey, slowed his momentum and allowed Mogg to get underneath, but it is again loose head and feet again to the Clydesdales. Murphy puts it in. Great chance to attack from here. Maguire, this time straight up there to, I think that was Duggan. Tony Duggan playing left centre on that occasion. McGuinness nowhere to go, up to Murphy. Not a lot of cohesion here. Keating pops the ball again, as he's done just about every time. Tate with a bit of room to move. This is where he's dangerous. Slips over, almost back up again. Darren Ingram in a dummy half. Oh, I had to throw a long pass, but decided against it. Delayed a second too long. Ryan a dummy half. Long pass back there to Maguire. Up there's Maguire now. Back on the inside. Keating off. Tries to offload again, but doesn't. Good chance on the left-hand side. They're a bit short there. Pass up there to Casey Maguire. Goes through. Almost through himself. Redcliffe have got it back, so great defence there by the Dolphins. They realise they have to do a bit of hard work there, and with a number of sets of 6, they've managed to survive it.
Championship football there by Redcliffe in defence, but Toowoomba throwing the ball around, showing just how dangerous they can be. And these young players from Toowoomba haven't been rattled, given the chance by a couple of Redcliffe penalties. They're right back in it.
They are, and now finally Redcliffe are getting it out closer to the halfway, and Tony Gould's on. The master kicker tries a terrific kick, and it beats Damien Quinn as well. Tricks him completely and goes into touch.
Damien Quinn didn't touch that, but he tried pretty hard to get a finger on it to try and catch it, but in the end he didn't just as well, because Toowoomba will get the loose head and feed. There's Tony Gould. I say one of only 2 players to line up from the inaugural Queensland Cup final back in '96. He and Barry Denduck will come off the bench, I'm sure, later on for the Dolphins.
Okay, heads in, keep them in.
Toowoomba,
Stay there, Redcliffe.
having won that Queensland Cup, keen to get a second one. Redcliffe, of course, now
Come on.
it's taken forward here by Damien Quinn. And they'll keep it going on the left-hand side. Wyatt with the offload. Is there a way through there for Steve Irwin? Tackle just short of the halfway. Let's have a look at the tackles now. And you can see it's evened up a whole lot. Toowoomba still having 80 tackles to 64. But they've done a lot more attacking than they were in the early stages. Nice inside pass to Paul Carriage. Kept alive by Carriage beautifully back there to the hooker, Michael Ryan. And they're only 15 metres out from the line now. Toowoomba again. They're on the attack once more. Away it goes. Murphy on to Maguire. And then out to Brent Tate. Again with a little bit of room. Gets the pass, keeps it alive. Back there to Darren Ingram. And he takes the tackle, still 15 out. Good quick play the ball. Casey Maguire's going to try the high kick. It's coming down in the end goal area. McGuinness is up there. Chance foul. Try. A try to Toowoomba. He's going to go for the replay.
Time off.
I think it will be a try, Jerry. Did it go back off the hands of Toowoomba? That's the big question. You can see Ricky Hewinson was always in trouble. He might have the headgear on, but he's got no sun visor. He was looking right into the sun there. Plenty of attention. Well, one player didn't actually play at the ball. I reckon the number 3 in Irwin put a bit of a push in the back. Certainly the ball cleanly grounded there by Tony Duggan. But is there any play on the man? Hewinson is the one. Here he's in trouble. And, well, there's no push. He seemed to be going for. I think that's going to be a fair try. Duggan dives on it. The ball's gone backwards. And he's got it as a fair try. Eddie Ward, the video referee. And all of a sudden, Toowoomba have got it back. 2 tries apiece. 10-8 with the kick to come.
Very good kick from Casey Maguire. He puts it up into the sun. Perfectly weighted. Great kick, Maguire. Gave him every chance of scoring.
Up there, gets knocked back. They certainly went up trying for it. McGuinness was hopeful more than anything as he sat on the ground. Beautiful kick here from Casey Maguire. It's the second time he's put in very well-placed kicks. The other one didn't pay off for him. It bounced in the in-goal area. This one does. It's always going to be tough. And all of a sudden, after Redcliffe having all the aces, and a number of them presented to them, I might add, in the first 10 minutes or so of the match, to race to a 10-0 lead. Toowoomba now with their fair share, hitting back well. Can they get it back to 10-all? And it's coming back the other way. What a kick down the middle in the end. And Damien Quinn has done his job to bring it back to 10-all.
Quinn judged the win beautifully to bring it back. Maguire with a perfect kick. The players coming through chasing with the advantage of being able to leap higher and with momentum. Hewinson tries for it. I'm pretty sure that was a genuine attempt from Steve Irwin. And Tony Duggan comes up with the try. Look, whichever team you're barracking for, you'd see that try through black or white eyes as to whether there was interference on Hewinson. But I'd say it's fair enough.
Well, maybe red or blue eyes, Warren. And this game is really quite amazing to think. Well, again, fantastic defence, but to think that it's now 10-all after the amazing dominance of Redcliffe in the opening minutes of the game. Here goes Brent Tate. He is so carefully looked after. Phil Graham was just one of many all over the top of him. And again, great defence. Russell Latham and Danny Burt combining to try and pin Toowoomba down in their own half, as they did so effectively in the early stages. And you can see why they need to do that, because they've got so many attacking skills, this young Toowoomba team. Kick downfield is a good one too. Wide open spaces back there. Barry Denduck is on the field and gets his first touch of the ball on his own 20.
We'd have to ask Jerry, where's Adam Mogg? Adam Mogg must be injured. That would not normally be a change that Neil Wharton would make. So one of their key attack weapons, albeit Barry Dinduck is no slouch, is off the park.
Well, the only thing you can suggest is maybe he was told go out there and really get yourself involved, which he was unbelievably in the first 15 minutes or so.
That's good, mate. That's good.
But it is certainly a surprise that Adam Mogg is not out there at the moment as it goes to Tony Gould, kicking from outside his 40-metre line. And he finds the corner nicely, as you would expect. He knows every blade of grass at Dolphin Oval, does Tony Gould. And there he is, looking the veteran that he is, and a tremendous player, a tremendous kicker in general play.
You might think about the 40-20 again, though. He's kicked that out near the 10 from just outside his own 40, so he's certainly got the range with the wind heading in that direction.
There's none better than Gould at that kicking game, and there we are. Identical completion rates and identical scoreline at the moment after 26 minutes of action-packed grand final football.
And you go,
Two tries apiece.
Feed it.
Murphy to put it in.
You just wonder if the composure the Toowoomba have shown to get back into the game might be enough to give them a victory in this grand final.
And they're certainly showing some pretty fancy footwork. They are looking threatening with the football. Ryan puts the pass up there to Neil Wyatt. Wyatt, one of the unsung heroes of this side. Down the blind side, Damon Keating. He's not unsung at all. He's just an out-and-out hero of the side. Captain, he's offloaded a lot of ball today. Michael Ryan dashes out a dummy half again. He's extremely dangerous. That's the 5th tackle. They need a good kick on this, the Clydesdales. Irwin does get the big beat on it this time. That's going to go too far, though, I think. And it's going to go well over the dead ball line. They've just got to get a better finish to their sets of 6 than that. That's just wasting them from that far out.
That looked like Rupert McCall in the crowd, I think.
Oh, he's a mad Redcliffe fan, of course. I was just looking across at Adam Mogg standing over near the reserves bench. He looks okay, looks even anxious to get back on the field. So maybe might have had some minor treatment, perhaps, as Danny Burke takes the ball forward, 5 short of the halfway line. 10 all between Redcliffe and Toowoomba in this grand final. Craig O'Dwyer, Tony Gould now. Nice offload. Phil Graham losing the ball. Casey Maguire decides to play it on from the ground. And just short of the halfway, they've got 6 to go. Can't play the ball properly. Penalty, or didn't play the ball properly is the interpretation. So the penalty to Redcliffe.
Penalty in possession. Ingram does not get up to play it properly. Well, he tried to, and then...
Can't agree with that penalty. I think there was plenty of interference on the man trying to play the ball.
And he was to his feet by the time he tried to play it, so it can often be the problem the referees don't like, and they won't tolerate if you're not actually standing up at the time you play it.
He goes Redcliffe again then, attacking that line where they've been so effective. Luke Scott inside the 20. O'Dwyer, Roberts is standing on the right, Gould on the left, but it's to Roberts, and then offloaded again to Russell Lahef, tackled 12 metres out from the line. Roberts has gone to the left-hand side this time, but O'Dwyer on the right, lovely offload there to Andrew Wynyard. He's only 5 metres short of the line. O'Dwyer, Roberts, and then away to Tony Gould. Gould will run ball in hand, away to Denduck. Can Denduck get it away to Wilson? Wilson for the corner, shoved into the touch. Just short of the corner post there, and everybody in front of us on the hill stood up. And all of a sudden, there they are, they're everywhere. Hard for us to see the corners because of the number of people, and look at the number of cars. It's a fantastic atmosphere for this grand final at Redcliffe.
Over here.
Great little set piece there by Redcliffe with Barry Dinduck coming from inside out, and they almost created something on the wing. It's a really popular move that Redcliffe use, and it almost came off for them.
And it's in the grand final that you want all your moves to work, isn't it?
If Redcliffe had scored there, he's
Duggan with the pass. Has he got enough pace to get away? Roberts has got a hold of him. Duggan brought to ground. Well, this is where Toowoomba are so dangerous. They've got so many quick and good attacking players. Christian Robertson takes it up over the 40. Damien Quinn. He plays on the wing for Toowoomba. He doesn't mind playing anywhere in the back line, so he's quite comfortable at any point of receipt. And that's the 5th, so they burn up the tackles. Ryan out of dummy half will be able to cause a bit of trouble. That's been touched and played out. Play on now! Play on again! Knocked on this time by Toowoomba. Knocked on both ways.
Knock on there.
Oh, only at the last by Redcliffe. Well, that ball was alive right to that last knock on by Redcliffe with Webber trying to pick up.
There's the kick through that you'll see by Michael Ryan. Lost behind them there and then lost forward by Wynyard. And there it looked like it was a knock on by Toowoomba, but it would have been the same result anyway. So
Tony, you get your head in there.
Certainly a scrum feed here for Toowoomba. And a great chance for them just 10 metres out. Casey Maguire now. Brent Tate. Tate will go by himself, won't be able to get through. Damien Quinn into dummy half as they reorganise. Quinn is going by himself. There's nobody up there in support. So perhaps a wasted tackle. 10 metres out now as it goes back inside to Murphy. Murphy can see a gap, but it closed pretty quickly in the form of Russell Layeff. Good quick play the ball. McGuinness couldn't quite get the pass to Maguire, but McGuinness keeps it alive now. Out wide, knocked on the far side by Steve Irwin.
Absolute sitter too, straight in the breadbasket. He had a man on his outside in Duggan, so again an opportunity just as Redcliffe had created in the diagonal corner. Goes begging with a little bit of poor handling, and there hasn't been too much poor handling in this game. It's been a very high standard. Andrew Wynyard.
There's so much action out there. It really is an exciting game, and I'm sure both teams are still just that little bit overexcited. I don't think there's a lot of that sense of control or patience about their games.
It's an interesting tactic there from Gould, just to knock it down into that corner. Happy enough to put a scrum inside the 30 of Toowoomba. Didn't kick with the wind that time.
Almost providing what Warren was suggesting, just that control, that settling down effect. That if you just are cool and calm and wait for the chance.
Well, I think that's been a real masterstroke or a bit of luck there for Redcliffe, bringing Tony Gould in that position. He probably didn't expect to come out with a 10-0 lead, but all of a sudden he came out when the Toowoomba side were coming back harder to at Redcliffe.
McGuinness has been threatening on a number of times he's run. He's always looking to offload as well. Tate fires it up there to Maguire. Christian Robertson driven back. Redcliffe just going up a bit of a gear now, putting a little bit more sting in the tackle. They're going to try and turn this game and turn it right here and now. Nathan Friend. Oh, he's knocked it on. Strong defence. Well, they are. Redcliffe definitely went up a gear, which they're quite capable of doing. They've got their own little call on their 10-metre line when they yell out, lift. And this is what can really put some pressure on. That was O'Dwyer dislodging that ball with a strong tackle. And now Redcliffe on the attack inside Toowoomba territory. Roberts rolls down a blind side, puts it up there to Jason Webber, slips as he tries to change direction. Hewinton, the dummy half, up to Michael Roberts. Long pass out into Gould, had to wait for it. Another long pass over the top to Luke Scott. Luke Scott stands for a second, but Tate brings him to ground. That's the 5th tackle. Phil Graham up there to Gould. Awkward kick, this one across the breeze. Duggan underneath it in the in goal area. And that'll get him a 20-metre tap as they rush back quickly. Well, I thought the ref normally waited for everyone to be back on side from a restarted play. Instead, he allowed them to tap it immediately.
I think he could see it coming and gave them that chance to do it. So Toowoomba have got it up to the 30-metre line. Casey Maguire in there at dummy half. Damon Keating, the captain. That's the way. Just charge at them, try and break through.
Tony!
On the right-hand side now. Good run here by Tall Carriage. Up across the halfway. Look at the way he's looking for support. Eventually able to get it over the top to Christian Robertson. And 15 metres into Redcliffe's territory they go and they keep it alive. Casey Maguire trying to get the one-handed pass away. If he'd have got it away on the left, they might have had the numbers there. So playing at 33 out now. Ryan, what a great run. Ryan into the clear. He's got a friend alongside him. Friend gather the ball. That might be Wally Simmons, the 5th tackle. 5th and last here. Ryan slipping it away. McGuinness might be able to score back inside. A try. Reynoldsson, I think, might have gone over. It is. Kirk Reynoldsson has scored the try. And Toowoomba have hit the lead. Do you believe that? The Toowoomba Clydesdales are in front by 14-10 with 5 to go to half-time.
Well, what a break by Michael Ryan to set this up. Beautiful work from McGuinness. He has been threatening. Every time he's run the ball, he's had it on offer. He just wanted a runner to come, and Reynoldsson read it to perfection. But it was the damage done by Michael Ryan prior to that. McGuinness, the big man, standing, waiting for a runner, and Kirk Reynoldsson coming off his left shoulder has given Toowoomba 3 tries on the trot. And but a great break there from Michael Ryan to really set them on the attack. They are extremely dangerous, this Toowoomba outfit, and they're showing with their share of the ball, they're hard to hold.
Damien Quinn now, after a magnificent kick to convert the previous goal. He has 1 from 2, and this one is closer than that previous one. The Clydesdales, they've done what they would have set out to do and brought quiet to Dolphin Oval, because it was a happening place in the opening 15 minutes, and the Dolphins put on 2 quick tries. Kick looks good, staying inside the post despite the breeze, and now they're out to a 16-10 lead, the Toowoomba Clydesdales.
Great comeback from Toowoomba, and there was some marvellous lead-up play here earlier on too, but there's the end of it all. Over goes Wilson, running off McGuinness in the lead-up. We saw Paul Carriage with a great run and pass. Robertson unloaded, and here's the run from Michael Ryan. Look at him go, evading tackles. Here aware enough to put the kick ahead. It rebounds, but it kept them on the attack. It was great lead-up all the way through the last 3 plays to that try. By the way, the news on Adam Mogg, he had taken a knock on the shoulder. They do expect him to come back into the game, though.
Get off, Tate. Toowoomba back in possession. Brent Tate in a dummy half as McGuinness plays the ball. Tate on his 30, well matched. And look, the way that they stand and deliver, Toowoomba is well and truly a picture to behold. That time he couldn't get it away. Michael Ryan, his dashes from dummy half makes so much ground. Nathan Friend now in at dummy half. And back it goes to Irwin for the kick downfield. And Steve Irwin's kick is going to bounce. Plenty of time, though, for Barry Denduck, experienced man who can play so many different positions for Redcliffe. A bundle of energy. Ricky Hewinson, caught just outside his own 20. It'd be important for Toowoomba to try and keep them down there, but not that way.
We haven't got 5 hours,
mate. For Redcliffe to get out of their own goal line, or get out of their own, close to their own goal line.
Yeah, that's a foolish penalty at this stage, leading up to half-time, allowing Redcliffe to get out of their territory the easy way. And Redcliffe now will see a great opportunity to add points right on half-time.
Just 2.5 to go at half-time. Andrew Wynyard running strongly and taken into Toowoomba's territory by almost 10 metres. O'Dwyer, Roberts, Luke Scott running at a bit of an angle, but it was well read. Driven backwards.
Well read, Jerry, because Luke Scott was the only player in motion then off Roberts, so he's the only ever intended receiver.
O'Dwyer trying to change direction there, and there was nowhere for him to go. Little kick over the top by Denduck. He'll look for the bounce and gets it! 15 metres out, I think that's the 4th tackle. So they've got a chance of scoring from here. Gould gets it away to Roberts. Over the top pass, straight out to Wynyard. Wynyard straightening. So close. Oh, they've gone to within a metre or so of the line. Great last pass there. Now they spread it wide. Tony Gould, can he get a late kick in? Oh, doesn't need to. The numbers. Wilson in the corner. George Wilson scores and Redcliffe head back. Oh, this is a great grand final. And we're only at the halfway point. Not even there yet.
What a fantastic try from Redcliffe. Barry Denduck to chip over the top when nothing was on, and then one play later they're set up for this play. Roberts out to Gould. Have a look at this for a cut-out pass. 1, 2, 3 players cut out. Graham knew he only had to flick it on one more. Wilson low and hard, parallel to the touchline, within a millimetre. Phil Graham up to Wilson, and he goes low and just in the corner. Great stuff from the Dolphins.
It was sensational stuff, and Phil Graham had his hand in the air and he was calling for it. He was calling for it. Whether he was looking for a kick across from Gould or not, but Gould could see the hand, and of course, as well as a magnificent kick, he's got a sensational pass, and that long pass was superb. And any try just before half-time can be so telling, and that is a vital try for Redcliffe. Michael Roberts' conversion attempt is a tough one from right on the touchline, and the half-time hooter goes now, so as soon as he's had his kick, that will be half-time.
Jerry, there's some fantastic football in the lead up to that try. On the far side, after they attacked down that right side, where after Carriage gave the penalty away, there was a pass from Andrew Wynyard as he was being tackled, falling. He flicked it out on the right-hand side, nearly created a try. Just marvellous football, and then you won't see better as they came back to the left-hand side for the try to Wilson.
Superb football, that's for sure. And now Michael Roberts. It's a very difficult kick because it's a strong breeze and he's kicking into it. He struck it pretty well. Look at that. Over the black dot, or the red dot, of course, here at Dolphin Oval. Michael Roberts has converted. And at half-time, it's exactly as it was at the beginning of the game. Nothing between the two teams. 16-all, Warren.
Here it is. Look at this pass from Tony Gould. What an incredible pass. Cuts out 3. Graham, catch and pass. Wilson unmarked. Just superb backline skills. As I said, you will not see better to even it up at half-time.
So half-time and 16-all in the grand final. 40 minutes to decide who wins the Queensland Cup for 2001. Stick around. There's more great footy coming your way.
It happened in an instant.
I've got some very bad news.
Now one cop is dead.
There's no mistake, is there, Andrew?
Another is his killer.
This is a murder inquiry.
And
We apologise for this break in transmission. We'll return to our programme as soon as possible.
We sat around and we starved. No adventures, no heroics, just fear. Fear and hunger. We kept our heads down. We survived. And that's it. That is my story.
Changi, coming soon to ABC.
What a fantastic first half of football, and probably fitting on that kick from the sideline, 16-all half-time.
Look, David, it's an incredible game. This is one of the best grand finals I've seen. You wouldn't believe that Toowoomba could be down 10-0 and then come back so strongly, and I really think Redcliffe will be kicking themselves for giving away a few penalties when they had the game by the grasp early on. They should have kept the pressure on those young guys, but didn't. We've seen some marvellous skills. The penalties are playing a part. 3 tries apiece, isn't it? Just a great game at this point.
It's been a great game. Interestingly enough, I mean, the way Redcliffe got their start, though, Warren, they really didn't earn a great deal that stage. I mean, Toowoomba presented so much to them. They still had to be good enough to score, but it always was that when Toowoomba got their act into gear, they were going to hit back.
Well, the game started with Toowoomba dropping the ball in the first couple of tackles, and early on they were self-destructing, just not controlling it, playing very fancy football, throwing passes which were being knocked down, giving possession to Redcliffe. And Redcliffe, what was that tackle count earlier? About 65-10.
Yes.
That was the amount of defending that Toowoomba had to do.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. Interesting, right from the start of the game, Toowoomba tried to move the ball across the face of their goal in the first couple of tackles and lost the ball. Redcliffe went straight on the attack, and there was a great opportunity, even after the second minute, when they took a good run. Mogg almost gets in to score at one stage, and then Jason Webber, he did well to get out of dummy half and rolling over, and he just got it down.
Yeah, in fact, there were a couple of very good attempted tackles by Murphy. Murphy stopped Mogg when he got close, but Webber was too good. He just skirted away from them, got in between a couple, got away from the marker, and over for a try. It was just too simple early on.
Yeah, it was, and then unfortunately for Toowoomba, they kept making mistakes. They were forced to go into the in-goal area. This is a good effort, though, by Jason Webber to get that ball down, and by then they had those points on the board. They were looking pretty good, but Toowoomba they were still under pressure. They had a goal line dropout. They found it difficult to get away from their own try line. Ken McGuinness, I can recall at one stage, unfortunately threw a pass which was ill-advised. And
but do you remember there was that miss kick by Steve Irwin too on the last tackle? He looked downfield, thought he could, well, no, maybe I can do something, in close with a short kick. Ended up just handing over possession. You can't do that. But they managed to get away with it, as it proved.
They got back into it, but Redcliffe's good play. Those little grubber kicks into the in-goal area. One for the goal line dropout, and then Warren, the second one for this try. Beautiful little kick. No one at home, incredibly, though. I can't believe there was no Toowoomba defenders threatening that ball at all.
Yeah, look, there was a lot of pressure leading up to this from short kicks by the likes of Roberts, but then Adam Mogg with a perfectly placed kick. It stands up. Just how close did O'Dwyer get as he came through? No problems at all for him as he came through with Luke Scott. Luke Scott's having a great game too. Made some very important tackles.
Yeah, it's been really good stuff. 10-0 at that stage to the Dolphins. They'd had all the running, but Toowoomba finally got a bit of possession. They got very close to the try line. They got a penalty for an infringement very close. Very quick tap, and Damon Keating had offloaded a couple of really nice balls. He's been valuable coming back into this side, and Michael Ryan dashes across in the corner.
Yeah, look, there are a couple of penalties Redcliffe gave away, one for being inside the 10, then again for taking a man without the ball. That was probably necessary, close to their own line. And then the referee was handing out a caution, talking to them about that obstruction and throwing the ball away. And I just wonder whether the defence close to the line just took their eye off the quick work by Toowoomba, but Keating popped it up beautifully, and there was Michael Ryan waiting for the chance. Steps to the left-hand side, all of a sudden there's a bit of weakness in the defence, and they just couldn't cover it up on the inside. I think Danny Burke tries to come across number 12, but gets there too late.
Yeah, strong work this. Nice little flick back there to Ryan. He has been dangerous every time he's run the football. So all of a sudden, Toowoomba back in this match. They got it back to 10-4, and then they again got down on the attack again. There'd been some good kicking by Casey Maguire. Good kick down into the in-goal. One stage almost came up with a try. This time a cross-field kick, and Ricky Hewenson, I didn't envy him with the sun right in his eyes.
No, it was a fine kick from Casey Maguire. Put it right up in that sun. And always those men running through have got the advantage. His feet are anchored, Ricky Hewenson. Even if he jumps, he's not going to get up all that high. Nowhere to go. Here come the chasers. Bit of defence. Webber, I think it is, tries to give him some protection, but it arrives too late. And whether or not there was some interference here as it comes through on Hewenson, was he knocked away from the ball? Could he have taken it cleanly? Or was it a genuine attempt from Steve Irwin to go for the ball? Here he comes. Up he goes. I think he was going for the ball. It bounces just backwards, it must be said, but Tony Duggan dives on it. And weren't they back in the game, Toowoomba?
They sure were. 10-all at that stage. Great comeback they'd done. Let's have a look at stats from the first half, and we'll just see how close all these statistics have been after Redcliffe initially got away to a flyer.
Yeah, well, the penalty's 4-3, but all of those penalties have been very important. Look, the ref has a big job out there. He's got to get it just right. There was one, in fact, that he gave against Toowoomba playing the ball in possession. It's a killer penalty, and Redcliffe nearly scored from that. They didn't. 51% possession's evened up. Territory has evened up. Completion rate, 16 out of 21 versus 15 out of 20. Look, it's all evened right up after the early onslaught. Toowoomba have weathered it, come back, gone ahead, and at half-time, it's all locked up 16-all.
Yeah, that is as close as it can possibly be on the stat sheet and also on the scoreboard. But of course, they weren't finished scoring. Even up to 5 minutes up to half-time. Toowoomba on the attack again, and Reynoldsson off a great pass from McGuinness, who has been very intent to stand in tackles and offload. He is a big man.
Yeah, Ken McGuinness playing better and better as the game goes on, made a couple of mistakes early on, though he was always being aggressive and attacking and causing some havoc now. That's a nice little ball he pops up there, keeps it alive, swinging away from the tackle of West. And Reynoldsson there. Reynoldsson has been everywhere on the paddock, as has Keating. Look, they're all playing very well out there today.
Yeah, Toowoomba would have been feeling pretty happy with themselves, 16-10 with only a minute up to half-time. But this Premier side, the Redcliffe Dolphins, will not be denied. A fantastic try when they got it within a couple of metres of the try line. They move it from one side of the field to the other. Roberts the long pass to Gould. This is a doozy. The long pass out there to Phil Graham. He always just had to flick it on to Wilson, and Wilson straight down the touchline in the corner.
All the skills you could ask for in the lead up to this from Redcliffe. Tony Gould with a masterful pass. Wally Lewis would be proud of that one. Graham, beautiful catch and pass to Wilson. He makes no mistake in the corner. That was a great try. The best of the half, but gee, it's a tough competition to be the best try of that half.
Yeah, great first half of football, 16-all. It is the grand final. We told you it'd be a great match. We predicted it'll be a huge finish as well. Stick around, we'll be back in a moment.
If you're fed up with being able to predict your drama,
I'm divorcing you on the grounds of adultery. So I shall need the name of your friend.
if you like your viewing a little to the left of centre,
I swing both ways, Mike.
Then spend a quiet night in.
Everybody thinks I'm such a pushover. Oh, it doesn't matter, it's only Alison.
At Home with the Braithwaites, tonight 7:30 on ABC. Where these guys come from, there's no such thing as a car that won't go. Tuesday, the adventures and misadventures of the Bush Mechanics, a brand new series that captures the essence of the outback and distinctive humour of its people. Turn on to the Bush Mechanics, Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
Pop music is wide open these days.
In the last gasp of the 20th century, the key word was diversification.
She's just got better and better, reinvented herself.
I use the word grunge in relation to the scientists in interviews quite a bit.
You could do it in the bedroom.
First up, we've just got a drum beat going. We'll add a drum loop.
Some even swapped school for success.
And the winner is Silverchair.
Sounded pretty good to me.
The series final, Long Way to the Top, Wednesday.
Take a look at the world from someone else's point of view. abc.net.au, ABC Online.
Welcome back to Dolphin Oval, 16 all at half-time in the grand final, and look at that magnificent scene. And there are more people on this side than there are on the other, and that Redcliffe Leagues Club there, it is just sensational. And the fact that they applied to have the grand final and were granted it, and then after a tough end of the premiership rounds, Redcliffe put it all together, won the major semi and ensured that they would be in the grand final as well. And the local people have gotten right behind their home team. You can see all the splattering of red there. Not quite a sea of red, but pretty close to it. And the supporters here from Redcliffe have really come out in numbers to encourage their team in this grand final. And, of course, we've got plenty of people here from Toowoomba and just general interest in this Queensland Cup, which has been fantastic over the years and just seems to get stronger and stronger. And out come the Toowoomba boys, Kirk Reynoldson there, and they know they're 40 minutes away from a possible grand final win. And these young players that we'll be seeing in future years playing with the Brisbane Broncos, here's a chance for them to get a taste of what it's really like to win a premiership in a major competition. As they come out for the beginning of the second half. And Kevy Walters would have had an interesting time, Dave Wright, at half-time to just say the right words, to maintain the thinking, to keep them in the right frame of mind as the Redcliffe Dolphins come out for the second half.
Yeah, they certainly had a half of fluctuations, the Toowoomba boys. They just weren't in it because they made a number of mistakes early. Then they had that purple patch where they put 3 tries on, and Kevy, I think, would be focusing in that period to say, look, if we play our best football, that's what we're capable of. He would have been disappointed to see Redcliffe get in the dying minutes of the first half, but credit to Redcliffe. After they got off to that flying lead, they then had to themselves withstand Toowoomba and then hit back in the dying seconds of the first half to set up what will be a great 40 minutes of grand final football.
So second half ready to be underway. Rob Alexander rules time on. And Toowoomba, well, interestingly, kicking across to the right. Looked like Redcliffe weren't quite ready for that and picked up and taken forward. They're caught on their own 20-metre line. The Toowoomba Clydesdales will be very keen to start the second half a little bit better than they started the first. But Craig O'Dwyer made a good dart there, and he goes Luke Scott, as Warren mentioned, has had an excellent grand final so far for the Dolphins. Caught 12 short of the halfway. Tony Gould, change of direction for him. Interestingly, using the ball in the hit-ups rather than that marvellous role that he plays as a kicker or passer of the ball. Good run here by Michael Roberts. Looked like he was ready for a kick on the 4th tackle, but decided to run with it, and that's the 5th. So Gould will be ready for the kick. High, this one from Gould. Plenty of time for the support players to come through. Oh, kicked ahead, lost control. Gould ends up with it again. And the Dolphins are just 33 metres out from the line, and on the attack with 6 tackles to go.
Well, they could well pay, sorry, Jerry, they could well pay a price there. Quinn obviously obstructed by the sun, but he needed to get a hand on that.
Troy Lindsay takes it up just 15 metres short of the line as Redcliffe are on the attack. And carted forward by Andrew Wynyard. He's very close to the line now, just 5 metres out. Craig O'Dwyer's the dummy half. Away now, good long pass from Rod West. Oh, left behind there, but picked up by Tony Gould. That's the 5th tackle now, as Denduck gets in to be a dummy half. Roberts will put it high again, across field for Hewinson. Up they go, lost forward, and lost into touch by Toowoomba. The knock-on will be played, the knock-on by Toowoomba, and so scrum will go down with a Redcliffe ball.
Well, you wouldn't believe it. They're having the same horror start that they had in the first half. They've duplicated it in the second, and it's giving Redcliffe a terrific opportunity to add first points in this second half. Rod West feeds it. Up there to Roberts. Roberts doesn't need a lot of room to move, but he's closed down with defenders coming from inside and out. Denduck drops into dummy half. Up this time to Cruikshank. Driven back in some strong defence. Critical part of this match, obviously. Roberts. Out here to Gould. Plenty of players in motion. Up there to Wynyard. Wynyard straight through. Andrew Wynyard running the angle. Bust the tackle. Bust straight through the tackle of Murphy. Gould had a couple of players in motion there. Quite often they let the straight runner go and pick up the looping runner, but instead Gould decided, and it seemed to be a delay in the decision, to pick up the straight runner. Bang! He had a player on the inside coming out, but Wynyard, he is a good player. This guy was picked initially in the side early in the year, and he's a good strong runner.
And he finished that off beautifully, getting low and staying parallel to the ground and forcing his way across here. Michael Roberts with the ball now, and then to Gould. Gould, there's Wynyard travelling onto the ball. The pass was magnificently placed so that he was running right into it, and there you can see the delight as he puts the finger in the air, knowing that he scored a vital try in the grand final after it was locked 16 all at half-time. Now the Dolphins are back in front, so they led early, they fell behind. Now they're back in front, and Michael Roberts 2 from 3. This is probably as close as he's been all day, but again kicking into the breeze, so it's not easy, but he gets it. It's now 22-16 in favour of the Dolphins in the grand final.
And I've got Neil Wharton with me down here on the sideline. Neil, great start to this half, great start to the first half as well, but you let it slip.
Yeah, I think it was a game of two halves. In that first 40-minute period, we had a lot of possession and a lot of pressure, and that's what we tried to build, some pressure. And, to their credit, they're a good side. They came back, so, they're going to do that again.
You held Tony Gould back. Do you think that worked for you?
Yeah, well, we've been doing that for a couple of weeks. Tony just hasn't got the condition. He's been out injured a fair bit through the year, and he hasn't got the condition to last the 80 minutes. So, it's just part of the interchange rule. We try to keep him off and bring him in when the game slows down a little bit.
The penalties are 4-3, but they're crucial, aren't they?
Who's in front? Are we in front?
I can't remember. Not much in it.
Yeah, there's not much in it. No, and that's unfortunately the nature of what's going to happen today, and it's good for the crowd.
Adam Mogg not out there. Will he be back?
Yeah, he'll be back. He just expressed a little bit of discomfort in a shoulder, and he's fine now. He's ready to go.
What did you say to them at half time?
Well, I was really pleased with what they did in the first half, but the downside of it was that their dummy half work that's where they're killing us, and from broken play. So, we really just have to be aware from the transition of when we lose the ball till they're getting it. We have to be wary that they're going to attack right from the first one. So if we can tidy up that sort of changeover period and work with our markers and our block runners coming up, there should be a chance.
Okay, Neil, I'll let you go. Good luck.
Neil Wharton, the coach of the Redcliffe Dolphins. And now the Toowoomba Clydesdales are well and truly coming back with some very strong play. Nathan Friend tackled inside the 30. Ball spun wide now to Maguire, and then away to Irwin. Steve Irwin almost in the gap. Outside him was Tony Duggan looking for the ball. Duggan goes to dummy half now. He'll send the pass back into Casey Maguire. The kick from Maguire, maybe a chance of it being regathered. It was regathered by Duggan, but there was a man offside. Kenny McGuinness ruled offside, and so Redcliffe get a most important penalty for them.
Yeah, no excuse for that. The play was a good one, hooking it back over the shoulder, and just offside.
David, I've got Kevin Walters down here with me. Kevin, down 10-0. That was a great comeback from some young players.
Well, it was, but unfortunately we're down again now, so it's going to be a pretty difficult 40 minutes, I'd imagine.
What did you say to them at half-time?
Well, just, our start to the game was pretty poor, and certainly 10-0 down after a lot of that can be put on ourselves, I suppose, and they scored an early try again in the second half, so that's disappointing, but, we've got some good players out there, and hopefully we can get through that.
The attacks seem to be coming together in the second half. You're finding breaks, and Michael Ryan in particular dangerous.
Yeah, he was very dangerous at a dummy half, and, once the game settles down a bit, hopefully we'll see a bit more of that in the second half.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, Casey Maguire's holding up all right. He had the back injury, but he seems to be holding up all right at the moment.
Good luck, Kevin.
Thank you. Yeah, well.
Kevy Walters, the coach of Toowoomba, as Redcliffe take the ball into Toowoomba's territory by 10 metres. Adam Mogg is back on the field. I think Barry Denduck is still out there. He is, and here he is with the ball right now on the short side. Tackled 30 metres out from the line. Good run, actually, by Denduck. Takes a long time for him to go to ground. Finally, he gets to play the ball. O'Dwyer now to Robertson. Away to Tony Gould. Gould tries the kick, and that followed through by George Wilson on the far side into the in goal and across the touch in goal line. An urgency then from Toowoomba to bring it out to the 20-metre line for the tap.
Well,
gets back onto the action.
Sorry, Jerry. Well set up there by Redcliffe. That kick was on. All players knew it. Wilson was sprinting as he hit the advantage line. Michael Ryan tries to run out of dummy up, bumps out of one, keeps the ball alive too, pops it up there to Irwin. Irwin knocked over about 10 metres, 40 metres, I should say, out from his own line. Carriage. Redcliffe again, that strong grip. Well, he's lost it. He's lost it. And Redcliffe are fired up. They're going to really put the acid test on here. Carriage very disappointed. Plenty of power and strength in the tackle. And Redcliffe with a good chance now to really keep the screws on.
Locked in.
Andrew Wynyard whacking him into the ground there. He's having a terrific game, isn't he, Wynyard, for Redcliffe?
Very powerful. Roberts has stood off the scrum just about every time. Up there to Graham. Graham tries to get on the outside of Tate. Pulled to ground. Graham was the one who made a couple of busts from the base of the scrum in the game 2 weeks ago when these two sides met in the major semi. The Redcliffe chant going up as well. The crowd realising the importance of this passage of play. They could pick up another lot of points now. It'll make it extremely difficult for the Clydesdale. Gould goes at the line, turns it back on the inside of Luke Scott. Sliding defence, just manages to get a hold of him. Scott not happy. Finally plays it. Roberts looks on the inside, fires out to Denduck. He's knocked that on. Picked up by Jason Webber. Well, they had plenty of options on again. They were well organised, ready to put a play on. And Denduck just grabbed at it. You could see the condensation of players there around the ball receiver, ready for a number of dummy runners.
I think Michael Roberts had a change of mind. He thought of maybe going to the left and then saw the numbers out there and fired it immediately, and it wasn't probably in the ideal position for Denduck to take. He goes Tate, just losing his footing outside his own 10-metre line, and immediately up on him was Phil Graham, his opposite number. Oh, lost ball again. Duggan, I think, putting the ball down for the Clydesdales, and that's Damien Quinn it was on that far side, and now all of a sudden Redcliffe have a great chance again. Only 12 metres out as the ball is played away to Michael Roberts and carted forward here by Troy Lindsay. 6 metres short of the line. Can they finish off this? If they can score another try, they'll have a big advantage. Barry Denduck holds up the pass, gets it back to Webber, and he's tackled still 7 or 8 metres short of the line. O'Dwyer's going to keep it going on the right side. O'Dwyer for the line. Pushed onto his back, lost the ball, grabbed by Toowoomba. Good work there by Nathan Murphy to get the loose ball. Or it was Michael Ryan actually who came up with the ball. Kirk Reynoldsson stepping back inside. And Toowoomba withholding that strong attacking foray. Brent Tate now just using a bit of a goose step, looking to see if he can break through the defence. Ryan, will he have another dart? No, he's got a man alongside him, so offloading the pass this time to Darren Ingram. Note the way that Ingram was able to do a couple of 360s there, spinning out of tackles. 10 short of halfway as Ryan darts and kicks. It'll be followed through. George Wilson has it under control, just outside his own 20. And it's cornered. Good work by the defence for Toowoomba moving up on that kick.
Interesting that Ryan elected to go down that right-hand side. There is a big, strong crossfield breeze, and they're not making best use of it as Adam Mogg gets tackled. Denduck out of dummy half, almost goes through. He's got some dash, but he was just caught. This time to Wynyard. Wynyard brushes through a high tackle, fires it back to O'Dwyer, up to Gould. Gould long pass this time, out to Cruikshank. He keeps it alive as well through Luke Scott. But again, the defence holding, that's the 4th tackle. Gould, as is their habit, they don't mind kicking early in the tackle count. He puts it in the pocket. McGuinness across there to pick it up. Offloads, as he's been intent on doing all day. And Damien Quinn gets a hold of it. Well, can they get it out of their own territory with a minimum of fuss? That's the question. Duggan coming in for a little bit extra work.
with that wind behind him, Steve Irwin should just let loose with that big boot.
I agree, Warren. There's plenty of yardage to be made the easy way. Neil White. Kirk Reynoldsson.
They're even getting close now. That's the 40-metre line that they've just crossed, so he could even try it maybe on the 3rd or 4th. And here it comes, inside the 40.
And he's aiming for it too. Will he get the bounce? No, it's going to go too deep. Monstrous kick there by Irwin. Will bring about a 20-metre tap.
Don't take it till they're all back, eh? Don't take it till they're all back.
Referee. It shows,
don't take
Jerry,
it.
sorry, it does show though. Irwin can kick from one end of the field to the other. That kick was from just his side of halfway and went too long, but he can get the distance 100 metres virtually with this wind behind him.
And the thing was that at the time he kicked that, most of the defence for Redcliffe were up, so if he thinks about kicking, even if it's on the 3rd or 4th, it's a tremendous ground to grab if you're able to get a 40-20. So George Wilson going from dummy half and take it into Toowoomba's territory. Good quick play the ball. Dwyer, Roberts, Gould now. Gould flicking beautifully back inside to win it. He's away again, keeps the ball alive as it's dived on by Russell Lahiff, and he keeps it alive as well for Redcliffe. Carting it forward now, Danny Burt, tackle 33 out. Mogg. We haven't seen him much since he's been back on the field to play, but he's a dangerous player. Tackle 20 out on the 5th. Denduk's the dummy half. Gould will probably kick high into the breeze. Cross field. Taken well by Quinn in the in goal.
Well, Gould would be unhappy with that one. He had plenty of time to get a good kick on that, but these conditions, the breeze is quite tricky.
Wait.
Just came off the side.
Completion rates there, 23 from 30 for Redcliffe, 18 from 25, so they both haven't completed 7 sets.
Redcliffe certainly with the majority of possession in the second half, and they're the one who've earned the first try of the second half. Damon Keating. That's the 3rd. Michael Ryan. This time to Casey Maguire. They're going to kick early as well, but he's outside his 40. They want to put Redcliffe back inside their own territory. Tricky little kick too as Hewinson dashes back, picks it up just on his own try line. Hewinson tackled. So Toowoomba deciding to kick early in the tackle count and try and put a bit back on Redcliffe.
I think they've realised the importance of that breeze and how you can use it.
Certainly there to take advantage of.
And with Adam Mogg on the field, Barry Denduk's still out there. Looks like he's playing at 5'8", Mogg at fullback.
Mogg drops in the dummy half, looks to the left and runs to the right. Nice little pass up the Robs. Good chance here now. Barry Denduk with a little bit of room to move. Through goes past Murphy, looks back on the inside. Denduk cuts away from McGuinness. Beautiful tackle by Ken McGuinness. Good quick play the ball, will cause some problems. Weber up there to Dwyer. Out there to Roberts. Roberts is forced to run himself. Now he pops on the outside. That's where they need to be. Out to Phil Graham. Graham straightens. Can't get away. Stands in the tackle. Back through the hands to Roberts. Roberts steps inside the 10. That's the 5th tackle. Will they run it? Craig O'Dwyer. Long pass out there to Phil Graham. Puts a little chip kick through. Pressure on here. They're not going to get out of there. Toowoomba. And a good work from Redcliffe to take it from one end of the field to the other. Barry Denduk. What a great passage of play initially from a good pass from Adam Mogg.
Wasn't that a fantastic break by Denduk? And the tackle by McGuinness was a beauty, and then they swung it to the left. Phil Graham almost got away from Brent Tate, and a brilliant tackle on that side of the field.
Oh, superb football. That deserved a try, to be perfectly honest, and the fact that it wasn't scored makes the whole match even that much more interesting. It's still just a converted try, the difference. And building up ahead of steam goes Russell Lahiff. We'll see that break again by Barry Denduk. There, the pass from Roberts to Denduk, and he just is searching across field. Suddenly the gap's there. He's got tremendous speed. All of a sudden he decides here, one man to beat. I might as well try and step him as well. But as Warren said, great tackle by McGuinness to bring him to ground. Now Redcliffe back in possession and back on the attack, and they get a penalty right in front of the uprights, 18 metres out.
I'll move away.
That's a dumb penalty when you're hanging on to a 6-point deficit. This is going to shoot it out to 8 and make it even more difficult for the Clydesdales. Certainly Ryan, you'd no use looking back at the referee and saying I'm not holding him down when you're still leaning over the top of him.
Ricky Hewinson might have just milked a little bit. He was doing a lot of kicking and not too much attempting to get on his feet. And I don't know, I'd probably say it was a fair penalty, but only just.
It's a big one. Yeah, it's a big penalty, all right. But Redcliffe probably, at the last couple of minutes with their great attacking play, has just put so much pressure on Toowoomba. They were trying to save every second and it's likely going to be a handy 8-point lead for the Dolphins.
Penalty goal attempt is no goal.
What?
22-16 remains the score from in front.
Well, if you remember, in the earlier final, the semi-final between these two teams, Michael Roberts kicked 2 out of 7. Should have kicked that one.
Long drop out by toowoomba, again showing the incredible power of that breeze. And Adam Mogg, slipping over. I was about to say how dangerous he can be from there, but lost his footing early.
Yeah, mate.
Now Troy Lindsay. And a good run by Lindsay up almost to the halfway. Redcliffe in front only by a converted try. Wynyard trying to force his way through. Really has been impressive, Wynyard. Across the 40-metre line. This time it's Danny Burke, tackled on the 30. Now let's see if they can use quick hands here. Denduck accelerating again. Roberts looking and finally getting the pass away on that far side. No way through for Phil Graham. Upended. 22 metres out, and that's the 5th tackle. So as Graham plays the ball, they swing it again. Gould. Oh, that's a good kick. The wind will keep it up. McGuinness, it's over the dead ball line. Oh, he's lost it. He might have been. This might be a goal line dropout. Here it is. He's lost it, and he was standing in the in goal.
McGuinness is trying to claim that he was already over the line when he touched it. How was he?
No, he wasn't.
Close.
No,
that
he
close.
wasn't. He was in the in goal.
Bad luck.
And had he been standing over the dead ball line at the time he touched it, even if he dropped it, it would have been a restart from the 20 instead. Goal line dropout. More pressure now for the Clydesdales. Great chance now for the Dolphins to put the Clydesdales away. Lindsay, Troy Lindsay gets it up to 32 metres out. Out of dummy half goes Ricky Hewinson. The pressure being kept on. Every ruck is a punishing ruck here at the moment. Craig O'Dwyer up to Roberts. Roberts fades across the side. Little kick himself so early in the tackle count. And Duggan picks it up. Tony Duggan's away. Roberts from behind. Can't make the ankle tap. Duggan close to the touchline. In a touch. In a touch. Well, they're the little things that make the difference. Denduck being embraced by his teammates. Duggan disappointed.
Well, you sort of say that he should have gone infield, but by the same token, he just smelt that maybe there was a chance of getting away. And had he have gotten clear, he only needed to be a couple of inches clear of the reaching cover arms, but couldn't get away from them.
Not a smart kick from Roberts, though. He kicked for himself. There were no other chasers in the vicinity, and he didn't get close to regathering.
He goes Redcliffe again. Graham to Wilson, but Wilson's well met. Good defence. Brent Tate was the one who was up on him. Casey Maguire helped in the tackle. Taking a long time. Maguire, well, that might have even brought a penalty. Now Adam Mogg slipping the pass away to Russell Lahiff. O'Dwyer. Danny Burke can't offload the pass.
Come on, mate. Come on all the way.
18 metres out. Wynyard back inside for Lindsay. 10 short of the line now. Redcliffe. They've worked it forward well through their forwards, and now Michael Roberts to Gould. Tony Gould just 3 or 4 short on the 5th tackle. Moggs the dummy half. Swing it away on the left, Roberts. And ball's been lost forward by Redcliffe and Toowoomba. And it's 0 tackle to Toowoomba, he says. So Toowoomba in possession, but on their own goal line, trailing by 6 points, 22-16 in favour of Redcliffe. Now maybe there's a chance for Damien Quinn on the far side. Good run by Quinn, and he's made ground for them. Tate in a dummy half as they start to swing it wide now. Tony Duggan getting himself involved. Tackled 15 from halfway. This is Paul Carriage. Can he get rid of the ball? Yes, he can, to Duggan again. Outside, the pass goes to Steve Irwin, and they take it into Redcliffe's territory. The Clydesdales. Duggan, a dummy half to Keary. Friend lost the ball. Grabbed there by Danny Burke for Redcliffe.
And Russell Lahiff.
Russell Lahiff put the shoulder in him for sure. Great tackle by Lahiff there. The shoulder straight into the midriff. And Danny Burke underneath. Ricky Hewinson now in a spot of bother.
Well, I'd be very careful about screaming out if I was you, my friend. We're just going to hold it here. Stay down, Rick.
That was a big tackle, and we've seen a couple on Nathan Friend today. Big tackles which have caused him to lose the ball.
He's in a bit of bother here, Ricky Hewinson, I think. This is bad luck for Rick. He's made a comeback this year. There was the big hit by Russell Lave.
I'm just a little bit worried about a few of the shots. I don't think there's been anything.
Comes clear. It's the changeover. It's good to see that, well, Ricky Hewenson's going to struggle to play this ball.
The referee has just gone across and spoken to Damon Keating, the captain of Toowoomba, and said he was a little concerned about some of the high shots. Oh, Ricky Hewenson is in real trouble here.
Why is he staying out here? He can't play the ball. Well, can he play it or not?
This is one of the downsides of the limited tackle rule now, that they try and leave these players on for time to recover. And common sense prevails here with Ricky Hewenson having to leave the field.
Okay,
actually,
wait for the whistle.
Rob Alexander stepped in. He said, why is he out here? He can't play the ball.
Tens with me, come on.
Sense being shown by the referee.
Now Redcliffe, who've had the majority of possession in this second half, get it up to the halfway line. 22-16, three-quarter time in this match. Troy Lindsay has had a great game. He has really taken them on today. O'Dwyer up to Roberts, has also played well. Wynyard tries to change the angle again. Fourth tackle. Mob lurking up at dummy half. Steps out of there, up to Roberts. This time out to Rod West. Rod West turns it back inside to Jason Webber. Jason Webber, looking for support, gets taken by Kirk Reynoldsson. Up there to Gould. Crossfield kick again. This will be awkward. Toowoomba do well to let this go. Redcliffe have let it bounce on the ground. Up there to Luke Scott. Wilson. George Wilson's got players in front of him. And that's a kick and hope one, and it's just gone out over the dead ball line. So a disappointing end to that build-up of pressure by Redcliffe. They need to keep it on. This game's still in the balance.
Certainly is. Just a converted try the difference, and we've got 19 minutes left in the game, so lots of time. And we've seen such fantastic football from both teams. And Damon Keating set backwards there. Craig O'Dwyer moving up very quickly. Troy Lindsay also time in possession. Redcliffe have had the majority of the ball, and they lead by just one try.
It was about 50-50 at half-time, Jerry, so Redcliffe having more of the possession in this second half.
And mind you, in the first 20 minutes of the first half, they had an enormous majority in time in possession. Good run by Ken McGuinness up across the halfway line. Oh, couldn't get up and play the ball. Penalty to Toowoomba.
This will get them bouncing down the field. Back-to-back sixes. McGuinness struggled to get up.
Hey, fellas,
the ball
don't do
was...
that yourselves, don't do that.
Well,
yeah, mate, let's go.
McGuinness certainly complaining. You can see exactly where the hands were at the time. Great chance now for the Clydesdales.
So Nathan Friend will take the tap, only 25 metres out. And running onto the ball, Damon Keating. Thinking just close to that touchline on the far side. Friend shoots it back inside to Reynoldsson, and now they'll keep it going. Casey Maguire cut out past to McGuinness, beautifully back inside to Carriage, but he's caught on the 20-metre line. Paul Carriage to play it. McGuinness inside it goes to Neil Wyatt, and Wyatt has well met Luke Scott, taking ball and all, and he's got some assistance there. Takes him a while to get him to ground. Troy Lindsay joining in defence with Luke Scott. Now Casey Maguire stepping himself, can't quite get through the gap. So close to the line now, the Toowoomba Clydesdales. Can they finish it off as Duggan sends it to McGuinness? His little kick is into the in-goal area. Pressure on Barry Dender. Can he get into the field of play? He's gone close to getting out of there. No, he hasn't. It'll be a goal line dropout, and Toowoomba should get the ball back. If they can score a converted try from this, they'll level the scores again, as it was at half-time, 16-all between the two of them.
Great effort by Denduck to try and get out here, but McGuinness, I think he caught his teammates unawares with that little kick then. And it was only just in time they got there to keep him in the in-goal area.
Is this the swing in momentum we saw in the first half? The early stages of the second half been dominated by Redcliffe. Here come Toowoomba.
Sorry, Warren, they let that one bounce. Irwin and Takiri couldn't pick it between them. Now Toowoomba with some great attack ball. Brent Tate, I don't think it's been used anywhere near enough by the Clydesdales today. He plays right centre. Will they set up for a big play on him? Up this time to Duggan, back on the inside to Sislowski. Play on, keeps it alive. Up there to Michael Ryan. He ducks under a tackle. Ryan, little bit of room to move. Michael Ryan rolls the defence back, tries to get up quickly to play it. Here comes McGuinness again, straightens the ruck. Gapped in the middle, goes to the right-hand side, fires it over the top. On the chest of Damien Quinn in the corner. 16 points goes to 20, and it's now 22 points to 20. Kick to come. Great work, Ken McGuinness. He's been everywhere.
He sure has. Kenny McGuinness is off to the Cowboys, so the people in North Queensland, you'll be seeing more of him next year. And look at that, he's reduced it to just 2 points after that pass. Searching, he wasn't quite sure. He's trying to create something. And what he was doing was drawing the defence from the far side. He saw that chance. He had a couple of players closer to him. He could see that he'd drawn the defenders on Quinn back in field. And it was the over-the-top pass to Quinn in clear space. Here it is. You see him working across field, looking and watching across to the right. What's happening? Where are the defenders going? They've left Damien Quinn by himself. I'll throw the pass straight to him, and that's exactly what he did. And Quinn was in the corner with a delighted smile. And now, if Damien Quinn can convert his own try from the sideline, he will lock it up again in the grand final. Whoa, what a game, what a footy game, what a grand final, what a competition, this Queensland Cup.
Goal line dropout paying dividends for the Toowoomba boys. The back-to-back sets of 6. And the opportunity on the far side. Now can Quinn convert his own try?
It's coming back, he's got it! It's 22-all in the grand final!
Oh, marvellous goal kicking by Damien Quinn. It reminds you that Michael Roberts missed that penalty goal right in front to give them the 8-point advantage as it would have been. This is a fantastic run by Ken McGuinness. There are 4 Redcliffe players there. There's plenty of space on the outside, and he sees it. Wilson had just drifted in. He might have been worrying about Brent Tate, and Quinn over in the corner. Brilliant pass from Ken McGuinness, almost the equal of Tony Gould's in the first half.
Well, if we got a tied-up ball game at the end of the day, and it's been tied up plenty of times this game, it's been 10-all, 16-all, and now 22-all. It will go, I think, to golden points, Jerry, I think, doesn't it?
That's right, yes, so we could see it in action as Paul Carriage plays the ball 20 short of the halfway line. Neil Wyatt, searching run, and Luke Scott says, if you want to get rid of this ball, boy, there's no way you're going to, because I'll wrap it up. Michael Ryan slips the pass to Damon Keating, and the big man tries to force his way through. Again, some solid defence, and once more 2 of the great defenders, Luke Scott and Troy Lindsay, bring him to ground. Here's Tate now with the ball. 5 metres short of halfway, slips it away nicely to Kirk Reynoldsson, and he takes it into Redcliffe territory. Toowoomba starting to really put it together now. They're playing good footy as Maguire puts it high. Pressure on Adam Mogg, running backwards. That's a great take by Adam Mogg, and immediately claps on the pace and is snapped by Ilya Takiri right around his legs. Junior Takiri there, straight onto him. And Redcliffe on their second tackle on the 40-metre line. And the crowd says Toowoomba's offside, sir. But Rob Alexander's not listening at the moment. Craig O'Dwyer, the dummy half. Andrew Wynyard across halfway. Standard football, but he picked up 10. That's what he needed to do. Neil White was underneath. Carriage over the top. O'Dwyer now. Roberts. Gould. Tony Gould slipping the pass away now out wide. Good run by Phil Graham. Graham's in the clear. Can he go all the way? He will get there. No! Oh!
5th tackle.
That's the 5th tackle. George Wilson, a dummy half. Swing past Michael Roberts for the line. Flick back. Can they get on this ball? Kicked across there by Gould. Picked up by Mogg. Mogg inside, slips over. Swings it back again. Andrew Wynyard. Kicked through by Wynyard. Grabbed by Steve Irwin for the Toowoomba Clydesdales. Oh, this is an amazing game of football. Just sensational.
Hold on.
It's still 22-all.
Where can this game go next? That was the most amazing passage of play that I can recall in a long, long time. And there, just at the end, Irwin diving on it. What a great passage of play. Phil Graham got that break on the far side.
Right,
the competition between he and Brent Tate has been one of the highlights. They basically nullified each other up until that point in time.
Casey Maguire has left the field on the far side. He's out, possibly out of the game.
That's a blow to Toowoomba. And
not square.
Toowoomba get a penalty, so that helps
Here
them.
we go.
Oh, it helps, Jerry. Every penalty is just so critical. Even in the last try, there was a penalty when McGuinness tried to play the ball. They all lead to something.
Duggan's right in the middle now. Of course, he'll probably take over Casey Maguire's role there. Damon Keating. Oh, good run by Keating too. Just 5 from halfway. As Toowoomba work their way forward now. Back the pass goes to Kenny McGuinness. They're going to use the backs again. The pass out to Brent Tate with a little bit of room. Oh, stepping beautifully. Tate across the halfway he goes. Can he get the arms free? No. Tackled 40 metres out. That was a lovely play. The ball nice and quick. And they pinch more territory. And still they keep it alive. Spread wide. Oh, left behind by Murphy. Knock on.
Carried forward.
Nathan Murphy just on the field, I think, in place of Casey Maguire. So perhaps just not quite in the sync of the game. That pass was there to be taken. The attack was flowing. And Murphy knocks on a crucial one for Redcliffe now, who would be
Paul, get your head in.
Feeling the pinch, as everyone would be.
In your game, mate.
Game has been played at an incredible pace, and possession is just going to be absolutely so critical. George Wilson almost through. Just pulled down by Sislowski. Strong run by Mott. Flicks it out the back to Luke Scott. Luke Scott goes across the face of the ruck. That's the second. Another great. Oh, he's lost that ball. Interference. Well, will he have a shot from here? Perhaps it's too far out for Roberts. Gould saying we'll go for touch.
Hey, don't give away any of those sort of silly
I think there's plenty of time, David. 10 minutes. And you couldn't guarantee that a 2-point margin would be enough. And, of course, in this difficult breeze, it would be asking a lot of Michael Roberts. And now they have a great chance for attacking football from here.
And when they get close to the post, both teams are going to start thinking about field goals.
Yeah, it'll be high in their minds right on this set of rucks. Troy Lindsay to 15 out. Roberts. Up this time to Russell Laeth. There's a settler. Midfield settler on the second play. Let's see what's set up for their set play. Up to Roberts. The two playmakers. Gould. Gould, a couple of runners. Beautiful pass. Luke Scott. What a pass from Phil Gould. What a pass. Very similar to Wynyard running the angle on this side of the field. Phil Gould picks up another second rower and they charge over again.
The Dolphins, they're just a wonderful team. And they set it up in the middle and then spun it to the left. Robertson, watch Gould running, ball in hand, waiting, and then Luke Scott charges, hits the ball at full pace, and from there on is an unstoppable steamroller. The defence had no chance of stopping him, and here he goes. Watch the way he hits this ball. There, 100 miles an hour. Would you like to be in front of that? No, thank you very much. He was able to go over and score a vital try that might even win the Dolphins a second successive Queensland Cup. They lead 26-22, but there are still 8 minutes left in the game, and now this conversion for Michael Roberts will again be very important.
He's had a great game, Luke Scott, today too. His defence has been uncompromising. His attack has been strong, and that, I guess, just epitomised how he's run the football today.
Well, his father Bert's got to be looking on, and he was a tremendous footballer for many years out in Western New South Wales, and he'd be certainly proud of that effort by Luke Scott. It's not over yet, though, as Roberts moves in with a conversion. No goal, no goal. It's only 4-point margin. Warren.
Luke Scott, he's a powerhouse, isn't he? He's just charged on. They were not going to stop him. He's just hit this line as hard as he could, and who better to be feeding you the pass than Tony Gould? Commits the defenders, gives the chance for Tony Gould, for Luke Scott. Had to bump a couple out of the road, and they should have made better hits, it must be said.
Now the grand final is well and truly on, down to the last 7 minutes as Troy Lindsay takes it out for the Dolphins. They are in front. That's where you want to be as you enter the closing minutes of a grand final. Ball showed there by Jason Weber, but he takes the tackle inside his own 30. Good pick up and run here by Barry Dender. 12 short of halfway. Craig O'Dwyer points across to the left and sends it to the right to Andrew Wynyard, but it was well read by the defence. So Wynyard not able to pick up 10, tackle just short of the halfway. Roberts now, Tony Gould, and they keep it alive. Out there, a little kick over the top by Phil Graham. He'll follow through, he's got lots of speed. Oh, taken by Graham again! They might score once more. Scott couldn't quite handle it and lost it forward. And had they have scored then, that would have been the grand final. But now Toowoomba have a chance. Paul Carriage works his way back towards the centre.
The highlights of this game, Jerry, are going to run for about 80 minutes, I think. This match has just had that passage of play there. Phil Graham, chip kick over the top of Tate. Regained, kept it alive. Then the kick and regathered. It was just brilliant.
And now Toowoomba will try and pinch something out of this as Duggan looks for a break but can't find one. Tony Gould was over the top. Luke Scott was underneath. He's scoring tries and he's coming up with tackle after tackle. Now Toowoomba look for a chance. Michael Ryan can't get through but takes it into Redcliffe's territory. That's where they've got to be. Casey Maguire's back as he sends the pass out to Brent Tate. Tate is smothered though. The defence so strong, so all-encompassing. Casey Maguire now. High kick from Maguire. Pressure on Mogg, or isn't there? Yes, Mogg, he's got to go. He's taken it in the end goal. He's right. He can take it out to the 20 for the tap.
Great take there from Mogg. I think that might have even flicked the goal post on the way through, and Mogg did brilliantly to position himself under the ball. George Wilson dropped it.
Here we go, knock on.
Well, that could be a very costly knock on. Could be very costly.
George,
the scrum feed to Toowoomba. If they can score a converted try, they can be in front at a handy time.
I wonder whether George Wilson, well, surely he expected it unless he thought he was decoy runner. He should have taken it.
Tony, you make sure your head goes in, mate. I don't want a penalty now.
What a set-up now for a grand final finish. They're going to go to the right-hand side. Up there to Tate. Tate first receiver. Steps back on the inside. Tries to go back out again, but Danny Burke does well to shut him down. McGuinness in a dummy half. Sislowski tries to bump out of a cover, gets his hands free, pumps it up to Michael Ryan, up there to Casey Maguire. Kate Reynoldsson just can't get his hands up there. They go back to the right-hand side. It'll be better. They stack to left. This is the way to go. Fires it up to McGuinness. McGuinness tries the goal straight away. Wilson back to recover. Well, you would have thought there would have been some runners closer to McGuinness. Wilson in a bit of trouble there, but he did save the day.
Oh, and didn't George Wilson want to hang on to this after making the mistake a moment earlier? He must have clutched this one to his chest. Oh, dear. But the dropout means that Toowoomba come back at them again. 4 minutes to go.
That's right, yeah, 4 minutes to go. 26-22 in favour of Redcliffe. And an awkward bounce there for Takiri, but he has it now, and he's elusive too. Earlier Takiri inside the 30.
Come on back. Come on back.
Toowoomba looking for the try. Michael Ryan. Neil Wyatt. Good strong run by Wyatt. He burst through the tackle. Couldn't get the pass away though. Ryan again with a dart. Up to within 5 metres of the line. Wyatt will be the dummy half. They're spread on the right. McGuinness is across there as well as it goes to Duggan. Over the top. The pass out to Casey Maguire, then to McGuinness. And McGuinness is tackled just outside the 10. Tate at dummy half. Maguire, ball in hand. No way through for Kirk Reynoldsson though. He's well met and that's the 5th tackle. Ryan races in there quickly. Now Maguire decides to pass, might have been touched. The referee says no, it wasn't, so they've got to desperately keep it alive. Duggan is caught, steps it back, well taken by Carriage. How did he keep hold of that ball? Cieslowski out to Maguire, got numbers on the right, over the top, taken on the far side by Quinn, left behind, grabbed by Redcliffe. Redcliffe back in possession, leading by 4, and 3 minutes left in the grand final.
Great defence there from the Dolphins. Toowoomba put on a couple of good plays there. The big one was that one by McGuinness on that far side on the about 2 plays before that last one. And Redcliffe hung on magnificently. What a game of football. Great counter-attack here now from the Dolphins through Danny Burke. Adam Mogg, who spent a bit of time off the park, has come back with a vengeance. Barry Denduck tries to run out of dummy half. That's the 5th tackle. Big long kick downfield now is required. Gould off the side of the boot. It's been touched. Takiri gets a hold of it. A little bit of room to move here if they want to use this side. Takiri throws the dummy up there to Duggan. Duggan the accelerator. Just caught there by Jason Webber. Quick play the ball. Takiri up to Michael Ryan. Get it on the outside. Out to Reynoldsson. Reynoldsson straightens. That's midfield. Ryan drops into dummy half. They come back now. They're going to go right-hand side. This time up to Neil. Is it Sislowski? Now Neil White it is. Breaks a couple of tackles. 3rd tackle. Great chance to bring it to the left. They're going to go right. Michael Ryan down the blind side. Tries the little grabber kick. Mogg's going to be first there. And just puts it over the dead ball line. Jerry, over to you with a minute and a half to go. What a game.
Superb game of footy. Redcliffe leading by just 1 try. 4 points, 26-22. There the kick through. Chase was on. Ryan did tremendously well himself to follow his own kick through and almost get there. But Adam Mogg flicking it over. So this is it. Toowoomba have got to score now. A minute and a half left in the game. They've got 1 set of 6. Drop out by Gould. He wants it well downfield. Taken by Duggan. He offloads to, is that Neil White? Forced on his back, I think it's Damon Keating. So Keating plays the ball. Duggan in a dummy half. Kirk Reynoldsson, the big men have got to try and do their job. But the smothering defence, it is everywhere for the Dolphins. Played to Ryan, away to Duggan, and then on now to Casey Maguire. Carriage up the middle. Can't get through. Again, solid defence. That's tackle number 3. McGuinness now. Duggan. Outside him is Maguire. Or stepping back inside, Damon Keating. Tackled 12 metres short of the line. If they can score now and convert, they can win. Duggan for the line. Reverse. Try is it to Toowoomba. He's in. Try.
Hold everything. Not yet, Jerry.
No, they'll go to the replay. I think it might be Maguire is very close. And the Hooters gone.
And it's right alongside the post.
The Hooter's gone. The scores will be locked if he awards a try. There he is. It's Casey Maguire.
Short.
On the line. Try.
No.
How would you like to be?
He was short and rolling across the try line at the time. Moggers definitely got him up. Whether he grazed the try line.
How would you like to be Eddie Ward ruling on this? This is the grand final in his hands.
When the ball is upended now, it's on the line.
Very
Here,
close,
that's
mate.
on the line. That's a try.
He touched the line. I think you're right, Jerry.
That is a try.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Try.
it is.
Now, the all-important conversion kick, because it's not over yet. It's 26 all. It might be in front, and Brent Tate, young head, but very bright.
Watch this switch of play, Jerry. Duggan takes him as far as he can go. Back on the inside to Casey Maguire. Great tackle that was. Whoever tried to cut him down, and Maguire knew he had the ball on the ground. This is a magnificent effort to cut him down. Beautiful work there from Duggan. Back on the inside to Maguire. Whoever it was, he tried to cut him down. And then the ball, I think it got on the ground even in the last movement as well. So in the end, no doubt at all, as Jerry said, it touched the line on the way through also. And Quinn now to win the grand final.
How would you like to have this job? The Hooter's already gone. If he kicks it, they win it. He's kicked it! Toowoomba are the Queensland Cup champions. Casey Maguire scored the winning try. Damien Quinn kicked the winning goal. And the Toowoomba Clydesdales have stolen it in the last moment of the grand final to win 28-26. Absolutely superb game of rugby league and an amazing finish. Absolutely amazing finish. Casey Maguire was relegated, if you can say that, to Toowoomba to play in this grand final from the Brisbane Broncos. He might have been there on the bench tonight for the Brisbane Broncos, but I'm sure he won't swap. He wouldn't want to swap this experience now in front of a huge crowd at Redcliffe to come up with a victory, and not to get that victory until the absolute final moment. It really was just a brilliant effort by Toowoomba to come back and come up with that result. Really quite extraordinary, because on numerous occasions in the opening 15 minutes you thought, oh, this is going to be one-way traffic. Redcliffe was so dominant, and yet Toowoomba were able to come back. Then they got to the lead, then Redcliffe came back, and then Redcliffe got to the lead again, and even with a couple of minutes to go, it looked like Redcliffe pretty well had it. And we can see this winning try again with Duggan searching across field. There he goes in, and a Redcliffe supporter is telling me here that that's not a try from that end on, from that side on angle. Maybe you could argue that, but certainly from the other angle that we saw, there was no doubt about the fact that he had the ball on the line, and on the line is a try. So the try has been awarded. That's the important thing. And you can go back to that kick through by Tony Duggan as well, or by Michael Ryan rather, which led to the goal line dropout. We can go down to David because he has Kevy Walters, the successful coach, with him.
Well, Kevy, first of all, congratulations, but at the same time, that's one of the greatest games of footy I've seen.
Well, it's great. It's the most game this coaching it. 30 seconds out from full time. It's anyone's. It's just fabulous. Tremendous effort from both sides. It was a great game of footy. It's easy for us to say that. I suppose we won, but I think both teams can be pretty proud of their performances today.
Yeah, probably one of the best things your guys would be proud of is the way you hit back those few times, down early and then right at the death there, wouldn't give in.
That's exactly right. A lot of character in the side, and if that was ever today was going to come to fruition, that's out there today. The boys they just hung in there for 80 minutes. It just shows you what you can do if you really just hang in there and do the right things.
I thought Kenny McGuinness at fullback was great for you. He was there when you needed him.
Yeah, across the board, we couldn't be critical of anyone. Some great players in this side, and I hope that they enjoy tonight and enjoy the rest of the week.
What about Damon Keating? He was off the field there, I thought, for a little while. He came back strong as well.
Well, he did. He's our captain, of course, and one of our senior players, so we needed to get him back out there as quick as we could under the circumstances.
Michael Ryan was handy?
Yeah, he was, thanks to the Broncos for giving him back to us. He was tremendous again today. They all were. They're all great, and it's a real team win.
Well, congratulations, Kev, your first year as coach. As you say, it was on a knife edge. The boys have won it well done.
Well, it feels really good, I tell you that.
Good yeah, I'm sure it does for Kevy Walters. Kevy Walters, the coach of Toowoomba after their great win. And the man of the match was Kenny McGuinness. And, boy, it was hard to select that. Ken McGuinness, the man of the match with Warren Boland.
Ken, incredible game of football. You wouldn't have played in many grand finals like that.
Oh, mate, the last grand final I was in was about 93, back down in Sydney. In my local competition down there called Minto Cobras in the West Comp. And that was great, yeah.
When did you think you could win it? Or when did you think you could come back? Because you always seem to be coming from behind in that second half.
Yeah, well, we didn't start the game too well. In the second half we started the same way, we let them in the game. And, we just we let them in the game the whole game. We sort of didn't control the ball pretty well. We didn't play as well as we could have, but we hung in there and we still got away with it at the end. And when they missed that last kick at the last try, they could have sealed the game. And I thought that we would have won the game from there. It was good.
All right, Ken, we'll let you go and enjoy the celebration.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, Kenny McGuinness, he had a fantastic game, that's for sure. We can go down now for the official presentations and to our MC, John McCoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official presentation for the 2001 Bundy-Gold Cup. It is now my pleasure to call on from the Queensland Rugby League, the Managing Director, Mr. Ross Livermore.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for turning up today in your numbers to support the Queensland Rugby League and particularly the local competition. Bundy Gold finished their sponsorship this year, but what a magnificent 2 years we've had from them. And on behalf of the players, the clubs and the administrators, I'd sincerely like to put your hands together to thank Bundy Rum for the support they've given us. In any game of rugby league, there's a winner, there's a loser, and what a breathtaking finish. When we left there, come down to the presentation, Redcliffe were in front, then Toowoomba take it out. And that's the game, that's what rugby league's about. To present to the winning captain, Damon Keating, the Bundy Gold Cup, I'd like to introduce Mr. Tony Hancock from Bundaberg Rum.
Thanks very much, Ross. Well, it has been a proud 2 years that the Bundaberg Rum Gold has been sponsoring this competition, and I think today's game is the epitome of that sponsorship because that was a wonderful game to the Redcliffe team. It didn't end up the way you wanted it, but you've done yourselves really proud today. To the Toowoomba Clydesdales, well done. I'd like to ask Damon to come up now and accept the trophy.
So Damon Keating coming forward, captain of the Toowoomba Clydesdales, and a very proud captain indeed. He's done a tremendous job. And Damon Keating raises the Queensland Cup for 2001. It's gone to Toowoomba.
Firstly, I'd like to thank our team, sensational team. There's about 45 of us that we use throughout the year, and whoever's come up always stood up to the mark and did their job, so great bunch of fellas. Secondly, I'd like to thank our supporters that come from Toowoomba, girlfriends and families of the players that supported us all year. Thanks, fellas. Thanks, guys. That was sensational. Beat Reddy at Reddy, doesn't get much better than this. To Redcliffe, great side. They have been, like over the last 5-6 years, the most consistent side. And guys, hold your heads up. You've got us last year, we got you this year, so that's the way things go. Kevy Walters, Peter Nolan, our coaching staff, Bales, Terry, all the managers. Murray. Thanks, guys. It's great.
Thanks very much, Damon, and congratulations to yourself and the Clydesdales. Well, Redcliffe were defending the Bundy Gold Cup, and they certainly gave it their all, did a terrific job. And I'd like to call on their captain, Craig O'Dwyer, to come forward now and say a few words.
And you have to feel for Craig O'Dwyer. His team looked like they had it won on numerous occasions in the grand final, but it wasn't to be. At the last minute, it was grabbed by Toowoomba.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. You couldn't ask for a better open and a better support than what we have this year. And Redcliffe have done a good job today and put on a good day for everyone. And besides Lane Park, you couldn't ask for a better ground. To Toowoomba, I suppose what goes around comes around. They were first in last year and we took them off in the grand final. They've turned around on us this year. That's probably a sign of a pretty good team, and congratulations. To our supporters, probably the best supporters in the competition. They travel everywhere to watch us, and we really liked that today. It was a good crowd. You couldn't ask for a better atmosphere. And my blokes, good bunch of blokes have been in 3 years in a row, and very proud bunch of men. I know it's going to be a hard night tonight, but we've got to hold our heads up. We've been in 3 years, and it's a great effort. To our players' wives, girlfriends, supporters of the team, to be a footballer's wife, probably not the best job to be. But, the players, they go and play on Sunday, and some of the times they don't get on a Tuesday, but that's life, Everyone else involved, the QRL, good competition. Hope to see for you blokes go up the NRL next year. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Craig. Yes, there have been some great finals of the Queensland Cup and the Bundy Gold Cup between these two sides, and today was no exception. Now going to call on the Deputy Premier of Queensland and the Minister for Sport, the Honourable Mr Terry McEnroth. Terry will present the medallions to the members of the winning Toowoomba Clydesdale side, who'll be introduced by their captain, Damon Keating.
I'd like to call out our players. Number 1, Ken McGuinness. Number 2, Damon Quinn. Number 3, Brent Tate. Number 4, Steve Irwin. Number 5, Tony Duggan. If you should just come up, fellas. 6, Casey Maguire. 7, Ned Murphy. 8, Kirk Reynoldson. 9, Michael Ryan. Who's 11? 10, me. Darren Ingram, number 11. Paul Carriage, number 12. Neil White, 13. Junior Takiri. Nathan Friend, Ben Szlowski, and Christian Robertson.
And there they go, the champions in the Queensland Cup for 2001, the boys from Toowoomba, 28-26, 2 tries to Duggan. He also kicked 4 goals. Quinn, Ryan and Reynoldson also scored for Redcliffe. Webber, Wynyard, Wilson, O'Dwyer and Scott scoring tries. Roberts, 3 goals. Toowoomba the champions in what has to be rated the best ever grand final. Thanks for your company throughout the year. Toowoomba the champions of the Queensland Cup.